dance? Let's find out. I want to see everybody on the dance floor right now. I'm about to put y'all to the test. Let's go. Do you know the dances? Do you know the hip-hop dances? Let's see. This one is the raw for sure, taking no chances. Bringing back the old school dances, here's the answers. Whether you remember or you're new to this endeavor, dance is a major part of this culture forever. Why don't we preserve it if the children ain't learning? Culture ain't about just numbering and just wording. Sometimes you gotta show the culture at the party. Let's start with the Bismarck dance. Come on, everybody. After the Bismarck, the party bout to get sparked. This is that moment you get live, get courage, get hard. I spit art, I'm one of a kind, they not me. I'm digitally underground like Shock G. Speaking of Shock G, when I jump, we jump. That's crisscross, but we talking about Humpty Hump. When you up, what? This is your chance. Come on everybody, do the Humpty dance. Let's go!
What's good? Come here!
Woo! That was the Humpty, now let's get it chunky. Like Biz used to say, yo, let's get funky. Funky, with the funk flow, we don't stop.
Who with
right
me?
About now, we're gonna take it to the wop. Remember the wop? Feet slide, shoulder drop. We did it in the clubs, we even did it on the block. Ready, set, go. Stand
Come
on
here.
the spot.
We on the wrong way.
To the top. Come on, y'all, let's do the wop.
Come on. Come here, do it with me. We here.
Whopping, not stopping, hip hopping, we dropping. We ain't even get yet to popping or locking. It's shocking how many dance moves we came with. Obviously, we and the ancestors got the same gift. The
Who with me this evening? Come here.
Split. Bob Marley said when the music hits, it's painless. You can't tame this or hate this. You gotta love me. Come on, y'all. Let me see you do the dog.
Come on.
Woo! That's right.
Where my old school fellas?
That's right.
Where them OGs at? Come here, fly girl. Fly girl, fly girl.
This that part where we gon' freestyle.
Come on.
Some of y'all doing the Cabbage Patch. Some
I
of y'all
dare
doing the Running Man. Let me see what you got.
Come here. Oh, it's gonna be a deep one today.
Freestyle. Freestyle. Come on, y'all.
It's gonna be a deep one today. I got a feeling.
Yeah.
I got this feeling.
Where my B-girls at? Okay, we out.
Check it. I have absolutely no notes today. Absolutely no notes. I got a special caller calling
Can
in.
you dance?
Special caller. Special caller today.
Can you dance?
It's kicking us back from yesterday.
Let's find out.
From yesterday. What's good with everybody? Welcome. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Wyatt-Live 5 p.m. conversation. Oh, I got in some trouble, y'all. No one cares. I had to, I got in some trouble. I'm getting it from both ends. I'm getting it from fellas. I'm getting it from females. I'm just in trouble, y'all. I done opened up a can of worms. I have absolutely no notes today. It's time for me to just stand on my circle and talk about this topic because I never really wanted to talk about it. But when you have sisters out here, you know, bringing this topic up in social media and making references to it now, like it's time for me to try Tom. I'm like, nigga, Jigga what? Jigga who? Jigga what? I mean, they getting bold with it, y'all. I'm gonna tell you this right now before I say anything that women will cancel me on. And it's this. There is no one more attacked from every angle in this country than a black man. A black man in this country is good for nothing. And y'all know I don't even talk like that. I don't even talk like that. It's crazy how we're looked upon. It's crazy. Now, I can be critical. I can be critical of us. I'm going to say hello to some people because y'all probably about to leave. So I might as well, you walked into my home. I might as well say hello and politely say, you know, how you doing and all of that. And then once you hear me start talking, you're going to exit stage left. You'll be up out of here in a minute. You'll be up out of this joint in a minute. This is just a few minutes stop to wherever you got to be. That's all. But y'all know what we talked about yesterday. And I talked about it at the end a little bit. Nah, I talked about it a lot. I just didn't say what I really wanted to say. But now I'm being challenged. And now some sisters are walking up to the plate and saying some things like, yeah, this is for the birds. I'm about to try to do something different. And now the fellas looking at me like, see the shit you done started, bro. See this old bullshit you done got started with. See now, you see this old bullshit? You got them wanting to be with everybody but us. No, it's not. It's not me that's doing it, bro. It's not me. I'm just one to be openly and honest and say, if you dearly want a sister to be happy, you can't just let her be happy because you can't say, oh, you with a brother, so you happy. Like, you gotta be with a brother to be happy. Now, it's not my preference. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you on these airwaves because I know people personally. And I don't want to lose the respect of people who think I may just say anything just to be in front of the camera or whatever. I'm not that type of dude. I stick on my circle. When people see me in public, I feel proud when they say, hey, I rock with you. And then I feel proud when they say, hey, bro, that was some bullshit you said. Because as long as I'm okay with what I'm doing and what I said, I'm okay. And I use my own family, my own situation as an example. When my daughter brought a little boy home for me to meet for the very first time, she could have brought shit. I'm trying to think of a nice guy in the industry or, you know, a nice guy. I can't even put one together because it's my daughter. But my daughter could bring home, do y'all know a nice R&B singer or a nice rapper these days? I mean, I'm not talking about they're nice in their lyrics. I'm talking about a Mr. Goodbar, a Will Smith of 1988. Let's push Will Smith back to 1988. Oh, yeah, there you go, DC. But DC says Michael B. Jordan. Now, I'll be honest with you. She bring Michael B. Jordan. He's a little older, but I get what she's saying. If she brought a Michael B. Jordan home, you know, he's never in trouble, handsome young man, is getting his money, then I would, you know, I could really, you know, my guard would be down a little bit. But it didn't matter who my daughter brought home. It was going to be some funkified fireworks up in the joint. You know what I'm saying? It was going to be some problems. I don't care who he was. And then once we got past all that, I find out he's Latino. That was the least of my worries. That was the least of my worries. It didn't bother me once I see he had his shit together. See, y'all trying to be funny. Yeah, I got people like Lil Wayne, Lil Baby. Look, if his name start with Lil anything, I'm not interested. He ain't even gonna pay. He can't get on the porch. If your name Lil anything, take your ass somewhere else. We don't entertain Lil nothing. Lil Nas's, Lil Babies, Lil Rat, Lil Boutique, Lil Kickstand. None of that shit. We don't want none of them. All right. You got to have a government to come up in here. We don't do nicknames. Pity pat, whack whack, give a dog a bone and all that old shit. We not doing none of them people. Y'all still going? The baby? Okay. There's my sister, Miss Williams, Aletha Williams. She gonna find this topic. She gonna cut the radio off. Whatever device she watching this shit on, she'll be gone, y'all, here in a minute. She gonna be gone in this motherfucker. She gonna piece us the fuck out. We ain't gonna see her long. I guarantee you. Pretty Ricky don't stand a chance. Stop playing with me. My time is valuable. Stop. Y'all next thing y'all gonna say, the old head's gonna be like, bring home Mars Day, player. She'll be all right. No. They got to walk up in here with the government. I don't want no nicknames, and I don't want tattoos telling me who your cousins and all them people was and all that shit. I ain't doing it. I don't want to see none of that shit. No, that's me. So what? Yeah, I'm sedity. I'm protective. I'm too good for that shit. You damn right. I'm way too good for that. And my daughter is too. And the one that follows her and yeah. And my grandkids one day, whenever I have some of them, they all too good for the shit we did when I was a kid. No. Okay. I hope they shut clubs down by the time my kids have kids. Now, I said it. I'm not trying to be no hater. I just don't want no accidents, no shootings and shit. That's just being honest. All right, let me get to it because I don't have anything else to talk about because I think this is going to subdued all the time. Is that a word? That a word that I can use in this case scenario? Going to take up all the time? I know what subdued means, but I'm just saying. Let me just say this to you. I've gotten rushed. I got pass rushed. I got blitzed for my take on how sisters should entertain other men. Now, check this shit out. I don't know if this was a coincidence or if this was some shit that was just like I influenced. But y'all know I got a few friends on Facebook Live that come on a regular basis, and they're people in the public, and y'all know them, and I shout them out and shit like that. And they have public jobs and all of that, right? My sister, I got two really cool people who then did some buck wild shit that now it's falling on me. It's falling on me, even though this shit may have already been planned out. Their arrangements. Well, one of them, hopefully she gonna call in a little bit. I'm hoping she'll call in about 5 minutes, 2 or 3 to 5 minutes. One of them is my sister Ebony. She gonna call in. She put a post up today. We'll go over what that post say, okay? Then my other little sister is Tiffany Daniels. And I don't know what's up with Tiff, but I rock with Tiff. Like me and her, like I'm gonna go down with the ship with her. So if y'all say something bad about her, I'm on her side. Even if she wrong, I'm on her side. So that's the type of dude I am. We gonna argue. And me and her gonna be right, regardless of how wrong we are. We gonna be right. And when you tell her she wrong and you show her how wrong she is, I'm walking away. We gonna turn our back and we gonna walk away together. And I'm gonna be telling her, don't worry about them. They stupid. They don't know. How many of us have friends like that? How many of us truly have loyal friends that will go down with the ship? Well, when you have a friend in me, that's what you have. I will go down with the ship. So this is what happened on my other friend. Ebony, she put a post out. We'll go over what she said here in a minute. And I want to know what the ladies feel about this. My other little sister, Tiffany Daniels, did even more than just a post. She actually posted a picture and put some comments in it. I was going to post it up here, but see, she don't know I'm doing this. She don't even know I'm bringing this up. But see, what happened is what y'all don't know is I'm paying the cost. The repercussions of the shit y'all doing is falling back on me. The shit you post. I don't know if that was perfect timing. I don't know if y'all was trying to set me up to get my head knocked out. I don't know. But let me tell you this. She's about to call here in a second, but this is what I want you to do. Let me tell you about Tiffany Daniels before I tell you about my sister Ebony. Now, my sister Ebony, we got some stories because we've been on the road together. Like, her son is a professional boxer, and you know, I'm in the professional boxing game, and he's one of the guys that I support, and I'm on his team, and we work together. He's a good fighter. His name is Jamonte Clark. Matter of fact, check him out this weekend. All right, he's fighting in we're in Las Vegas this weekend. Okay, and it's on the Erickson Lubin card. All right, and you know, this is the new beginning. This is a start. Ebony, if this is you calling me, girl, you got to call the show line, not my cell phone. Don't call the cell phone. Call the show line. Let me put the show line up. I don't know if she's watching or not. Let me put it up because I sent her the number. Let me see. Let me see if she's calling me. But let me just give her the number just again, because you know how we are. We always got to remind people the addresses and all that old shit. You know, when you tell them to be there at a certain time, you know, ladies start getting ready at that time. Hold on 1 second. What's my number, y'all? 310. Jeez, I can't see shit. 0546. Come on, girl, call that number. Don't be calling my cell phone. Anyway, let me tell you about Tiffany Daniels before I get on my sister. All right, I ain't getting on them. I'm rolling with them. Yes, call the 310 number. See how didn't I tell y'all? She gonna call my cell phone instead of the. And I gave her instructions like when you call, make sure you call the show phone. She in Facebook jail right now, so she can't do a split screen with me. So imagine that. You know this about to be some crazy shit. You know this about to be something we about to be off the hinges on this one because she in Facebook jail. Let me see if this is her. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Ebony.
What's up? What's up, E? What's going on?
Nothing. I tried to call you from my other phone. For some reason, it wasn't going through, so I had to call you from this phone.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You called me on my cell phone too, didn't you?
No.
You didn't? Oh, okay. That was somebody else.
No, I followed the number. Follow directions.
Okay. You must have heard me saying you don't know how to follow directions. You heard me say that shit, didn't you?
I did.
Yes, you did. What's good with you, sis? Hey, before we get started, I appreciate you being here, but before we get started, let's go ahead and get at it. I'll get on Tiffany here in a second because this shit is all relevant. Everything we doing is relevant. All right, so listen, I don't know if I have the post. Let me see if I have the post real fast. If I took a picture of it, put my glasses on because they talking about me already. Let me see if I have a picture of the post that you put out. Nah, I don't. But anyway, I'm going to go to your page and I'm going to tell everybody what you said. All right, is that fair?
Yeah, it's Facebook, it's social media.
All right, yeah, that's true. Damn, I'm acting like you done told me something, you know, privately. But now let me go over here and let me find it because I think I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want to be able to say this.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly what I said.
All right, you keep fading in and out. You got me on speaker or something?
No, I got my earbuds in. What about now? You fading in and out?
That's better right there. Whatever you're doing right there, that's how we need to do it.
No, I can tell you exactly what I said.
What did you say? I got it right here, but I want to know what you said.
So I said, why is it so hard for Black men to love us correctly? I'm about to see what it is to be in a relationship with Tom. Now, let me just say this. What I should have did was elaborate. I don't feel as if all Black men are dogs and don't know how to love correctly. I'm just speaking on my experience and what I've witnessed through the people that I know. So that's what it wasn't like taking shots at Black men. I have 2 Black sons. I love my son. I love everything about a Black man. I love the way they smell, the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they look when they get out of the barber chair, all of that. But I'm speaking about my experience and what I've witnessed from the people that's around me as far as dealing with Black men. Now, I'm not taking a shot at a Black man. I have 2 sons. That's all I got is 2 sons.
Okay.
But from my experience, I feel like some Black men don't know how to love correctly, don't know how to love us as Black women correctly.
You say that one more again.
Which one?
From what you're saying, because you fading in and out. But you said from your experience, or what did you just say about some black?
I said from my experience and from what I've witnessed with the people around me, I don't feel as if some black men don't know how to love us black women correctly.
Okay.
And that's my opinion. That's how I feel from what I went through.
Okay. All right. So you saying all of that, sis, you said, I have 2 black sons, and I know you do, and they handsome, both of them. And then you go on to say, I love everything about black men. And then you go on to say that black men are gorgeous, black men are this and this and this and that. And then you turn around and say, you just don't think some black men know how to love us. Are you meaning black women? Specifically?
Black us as in black women.
So do you think, let me add, hold on, sis, because I want to get a clarification of this. Do you think personally, because this is all opinion, it's just based on what you've experienced and our opinions, because, everybody's life is different, so they're going to have a different take. But when you say don't love us, that's meaning black women. So do you think that black men who have white women love their women better? Or do you think those are just the black men that know how to love a woman, period? And those same black men will love a black woman the same way, but they just happen to be with a white lady. Is that what you're saying? I mean, does that sound like it makes sense at all?
So repeat that for me again. I want to make sure that I'm registering this correctly.
It was kind of long. Because I read the post and I'm looking at it right in my face, and I'm trying to figure out, like, when you say some black men don't know how to love us, meaning black women, right? Are you meaning black women, or are you meaning women, period?
Black women. I mean black women
specifically.
Because I feel as if, this is my opinion, I feel as if it's generational. Of course, they took the black men out of the home, and then they made us, put them in jail, separated us. So women had to feel like it's as if we have to be so strong and be a man, this, that, and the third. So I understand how when people say, I don't understand. When people say that maybe the men don't know how to love. Well, I didn't know how to read, and somebody had to teach me. Ooh. So I just feel like, this is my opinion.
Sure.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I feel as if we always use our past as an excuse for not doing something, and where are we going to get in life?
Right. Okay.
I mean, each his own. If a black man is with a white woman, that's his preference. But has he even tried to have a relationship with a black woman?
Most have. I can speak from experience of knowing guys who are African American males who have white ladies as husband, or as wives, and their husbands to these women. I would have to say that yes, they've dated black women before, and they ended up where they ended up. But here's what I'm asking, because it's not just you saying this, and now it's starting to hit social media, and now we're starting to see a lot more of it. I was just talking about this yesterday, sis, and it was powerful black women in high roles, in high positions. We're starting to see a visual in America of these women having white counterpart, white husbands. And we're out, some people can't handle it. Some people say love is love. But I'm saying, like, do you think that these women tried black men as well, and those same black women couldn't find a black man because of the things that I'm hearing coming out of black women's mouths today about black men? Do you think that's what it is?
Yes.
Even at that level?
I never dated a white man in my life.
But would you date any other man other than a black man? I mean, there's more men than just white men. See what I'm saying? Like I said that yesterday, there's people putting a narrative of sisters shouldn't, if they don't date black men, they shouldn't date any man. Or I would never date a white man. That's what they keep saying. But what about an Asian man, a Latino man, Mexican, a man from another, race of people?
Yes, I would date another person of another race. But me personally, I try to stick with black men because I'm a black woman, and our foundation is already messed up. So, and I want me having a 13-year-old black son. I want my son to be able to relate to something that he will be able to relate to. you know what I'm saying, having an understanding. So I would love to be with a black man. I would love to, but at this point, I'm open to date. And where I can at this point.
All right, I can't, it's fading in and out, sis. It's fading in and out. You say you got your headset?
Let me take my hair. What about now? Is it better?
That's much better right there. Uh-oh, it faded as you said, okay. But let me ask you this, sis. I need you to help me out and help the audience out. What is it? Is it this your feelings, or is this something that you're talking about amongst other sisters? Are y'all having these conversations sitting by the fireplace on Waiting to Exhale with the wine and shit, and y'all having these type of conversations? Is this, are you hearing what you're saying from a few other sisters, or is it just kind of how you feel right now?
No, I'm hearing that from a few other sisters. Like before I made that post, I was having a conversation with my best friend, and my best friend, she don't flaunt her body on Facebook. She's a school teacher for many years. She ain't been out here running around doing this, and that, and third. But she's single.
Okay.
And we was having a conversation about it. And even earlier that day, like this is an ongoing conversation. This is not nothing that I feel. It's an ongoing conversation amongst me and a lot of different women.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's have a discussion about what it is that you guys talk about. I mean, you don't have to tell me verbatim and everything, but I'm interested to know what are the problems that you find single black women having with black men out here in the life. You know what I mean? Because here's what I'm tripping on. It's about to get a little funny sounding when I say this, but if you've never seen Ebony, y'all need to go to her Facebook page. You know, she's unbelievably gorgeous. I mean, from a black man, sisters, cover y'all ears, because this is for my brothers that's out here, okay? Ain't nothing missing. Looks, body, bang. All right, y'all can uncover your ears now, sisters. But it's a good pack. You know, everything is there. So I'm trying to figure out what is it that we're doing wrong, or do you feel the sisters may be doing something wrong? But what is it that y'all talking about? What is it that's making it so difficult for single sisters to find a man out here?
Well, I'm going to be honest, and I'm speaking for myself. It's a two-way street. So with me personally, I got to take accountability for the part that I played in dealing with and being single. You know, I was in a relationship and I accepted a lot. And when you accept so much, how could you expect somebody to treat you a certain type of way when you already accepted what they was bringing to the table? So me personally, I take full responsibility about my previous relationship and how I allowed somebody to treat me, because when you first meet somebody, it's all glams and all this and that and the third, but it's like an addiction. When you're dealing with somebody and they give you that feeling that you get when you first meet someone, you keep chasing it. Like, you know, if you ever had a conversation with an addict, they keep chasing that first hit. But in all reality, sometimes when you meet somebody, they just don't be chasing that feeling, trying to get that feeling back that you received when y'all first met each other. And in reality, you fall deeper and deeper into a hole, deeper and deeper in love with this person. So you start to accept anything. You start to accept anything just to feel love. And so I take accountability in a lot of that. And sometimes we overlook the good guys for potential. We do that a lot. But at the same time, just because I allowed you to hurt me don't mean you have to keep hurting me. So it's a two-way street. You know, it's a two-way street. Like, just because I allowed you to hurt me doesn't mean that you have to hurt me. I feel like you should treat people how you want to be treated, and don't do nothing to me that you wouldn't want me to do to you.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm starting to read a few of the comments. Like, let me see who put that out there. Daryl, DC, what's good, bro? He said, quit trying to turn these street dudes into men. We're not trying to
turn a dude. We could never turn a dude into a man, because I mean, hopefully he come already made. But at the end of the day, y'all want us to stick by your side. So because you see a little bit of flaws in him, you're supposed to walk away from him.
Well, you know, personally, men do it all the time. You know,
Mhm.
we tend, I got into this discussion with another friend of mine, sis, and it was how how we deal with things different than women. And I always say that women don't deal with cheating from a man as good as men do. And like if a woman cheated on a man, he deals with it a lot easier. Not easier, but he deals with it better. And she still argues with me to this day. She said, "No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Women cheat. Women cheat. They tend to deal with it better." And I'm like, well, it all depends on what you consider better, because just because you're still around, just because y'all still stay in the same house, and she has never accepted it, she's dealing with it, but yet the man feel the energy of how she feels. Y'all argue all the time. She simply didn't get over it, and you keep going at it. It's dog and cats, and y'all keep going at it, and blah. And that's considered to be dealing with it and accepting it and doing better than what a man would do, which is usually men just leave. If a man gets cheated on, he don't want to deal with that woman anymore. It's a cut and dry situation. He's done. And to me, that's a better way of dealing with it, because it's going to save you 2 years of aggravation, because chances are you're not going to get past that situation. And men they know they're not going to get past it. And so they just cut ties. And that's why I gave my reasoning of why I felt men dealt with being cheated on better. So now this is what I want you to understand, sis. Sometimes you give, just based on what you just said, sometimes y'all can give a man too much. And that is, you give him too much chances, too much, you giving him too long, giving him your best years, your best time. And you've dealt with the wrong man. And then y'all tend to have this situation of saying, like, all men aren't any good. Well, you've been dealing with one for 5 years. You're hearing your friends or whoever describe the same man, because y'all tend to have the same taste of men, maybe. I don't know. But y'all are describing the same person, but that same person is not all of us out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, where are y'all looking for these men that turn out to be no good? Where are you searching for them?
And it's not all, and it's not, I don't think it's all like, I tried to read the thing, but I couldn't really read because I hear you talking. But it's not always street dudes. It's some corporate men that be cheating on their wives.
Yeah.
It's not always a street dude. It's some corporate men. It's some halfway decent. It's a lot of men that really cheat on their wives and girlfriends and this, and the third. So it's almost like it's starting to be a trend there, because of the fact that a lot of women accept certain things that the men thinking it's okay. I had a conversation with some guy. He told me that he was saying, like, all women, wait a minute, hold on. He said, you always gonna share somebody. Like, basically, like, a woman isn't worthy enough to have her man to herself. That's bullshit to me. Forgive me for, excuse my French, whoever on the phone, but that's bull crap. Like, at what point is enough is enough? Like, how many, I understand that men supposed to have such a big sexual appetite and this, and the third, but women don't. You can't think with your heart instead of your ego, pride, and your penis.
Well, sis, let me say this. I just got to speak for the brothers out here. You said something that I want to strike on. You said corporate men cheat. Men cheat. Man is a man, okay? But, and when I say the flaws that you may describe, there's not a color on that particular flaw. I'm trying to figure out why sisters feel like the same shit that they are dealing with in black men, they feel like they won't have to deal with that in outside the race. I mean, what makes you think white men don't act like that?
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay, man.
No, I really do feel like a lot. Okay, so with these other races, they value family, and a lot of the people sing love in the home. A lot of our families, a lot of black families a lot of us never grew up in 2-family homes. So a lot of us really did not see the love inside of a home. So they really don't know what it feels like. But when you meet a woman that's raised off love and not survival, and she's teaching you, and she's telling you, and she's expressing to you how she want to be loved, how she want to be felt, you should be able to either work with her or give her what she needs or leave. Because I just really feel like I said, I didn't know how to read until I was taught. So if you didn't learn how to love in the home, and you meet somebody that's really trying to teach you how to love, then why stay if you don't want to learn or you don't want to participate in satisfying her needs?
I understand that. Let me ask you this question on that point that you're making. How long do you think it takes a woman to understand she has the right guy or the wrong guy in your opinion? I mean, like you just said, if he never was taught, are you in position to try to teach him? Is that what you're trying to do? Or are you, you know, I don't understand why, I don't know. I'm a little puzzled in this topic because number one, I'm trying to figure out why people think black men are the only one that do the things that I hear women describe a bad man. I mean, there are men of all races that do the same thing. I'm not. See, I'm having a hard time with this one a little bit, sis.
Well, you know why? Because black men is the only men that we've been dealing with. So we can't keep. I'm giving you my opinion off of my experience. I can't tell you how. That's what I said. I wonder how it will be because I don't know how it will be with any other race because I've never dealt with anyone of any other race. I've only dealt with black men. So when we speaking for myself and the people that I know, when we say black men, that's because that's all we've dealt with.
Right. So now let's get to the post. Now, when you say Tom, who are you referring to? Is Tom black or is Tom Asian? Is he white?
Tom ain't black.
Oh, Tom is what? Is he white? Is he?
Yeah, he white.
Okay. So if you don't do a black man, you'll do a white man, basically. Is that so? What about the Asian guys, or what about the Latino dudes, or what about Latin dudes? You know what I mean? Like, what about that?
Tom thing, it was a question with a joke. To be honest, it just went, but I was serious about what I was saying. Why can't black men love us correctly? I was serious, but the Tom part was a joke. But I would say a white man, an Asian man, a Mexican man. I'm not putting any limitation on my dating. I just never experienced another race before. So that's what I'm saying. When you say that we talk about black men, that's because that's all we dealt with. That's all we've ever dealt with, most of us.
Sis,
it's not that white men don't cheat. It's not that, because I done heard stories, it's not that Mexican men don't cheat. It's not that nobody of any other race does not cheat.
And it's not just cheat. It's not just cheat. It's disrespecting women, period. So it can be, disrespect covers all categories. It covers a lot of categories. Okay. Disrespect could be talking to her wrong. It can be abusive. It could be cheating. And let's just say that all men of all races, not all men, but men of all races have their disrespectful men. That's fair to say, right? So Believe it or not, sis, I'm gonna go down on this ship with you. All right. Because if anyone who knows me and know me on this show, they know that I'm not going to lie to you and I'm not going to retract. I just wanted to make it clear that I don't personally think that all black men, and I know black women don't feel this way either. I know they're speaking from their experiences, which may be, the things that they've seen. But let me just say this. I'm an advocate of making people, I believe in you should be happy. Okay, now whatever it takes to be happy, sometimes you have to go against the grain to do it. And sometimes you have to seek it. Sometimes it'll be there. It's probably already sought you and you never gave it a chance. Okay, that's just how I feel. Now, this is going to be painful for a lot of people because a lot of people they're not going to be feeling me on this. But I've been saying this shit for the longest. But I've been using what I call my reverse psychology on this. And this is this. I think that if black women want a better black man, I think you all have to step up to the plate and force us to be better. That's just my opinion. And the way you force us to be better is you stop becoming an option for those that you stop settling. Stop becoming an option for those that you just don't want to deal with. That mentality of an individual. That's just my thoughts. I've been saying that for over a year. Now, I'm a coon for that shit. I'm separating the black family and all that old shit. Well, I don't see a black family being formed in the first place. So what I'm saying can't be counterproductive of what we really need to be doing, because if it's like anything else, in order to make someone do better, you got to put something better in front of them. Now, am I saying a white man is better? No, but a better situation for you is what I'm talking about. So if a man can make you happy, regardless of what his color is, that might make another man, such as a black man, myself, if I see this woman right here, the type of woman that I want, and I see that she has her standards, if I don't meet those standards by her definition of standards, then maybe I need to step up and get on her level. That's just me. So it's like a man. Some men lead with their pockets. They lead with their wallets. And the only reason why they do that is because they're trying to what? Impress her. They're trying to impress you. Right? They trying to impress you. Y'all control the yeses and the nos. So if you set your standards high, a lot of sisters will say, well, I do, and I'll never be with nobody but a black man. I'll never be with nobody but a black man, and blah, 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 blah. Well, don't talk shit when you by yourself for years after years after years after years. That's just on you. You're not even giving yourself an opportunity to be happy. You're canceling everyone else out. So when you said what you said, I had to attack it. I had to come on with you, but I had to give you, listen, y'all don't want no smoke with my sister. Can I give them the story? We out on the road, y'all. We out. Where was shit? I think we was in Minnesota. Yo. We in Minnesota at the fights, yo, right? I gotta share it. Look, it's our turn. We in the locker room, bye, doing what we do. We come out. Now, Jamonte, king that he is, comes out, putting a whooping on this dude. Now, they cheated him, right? We ain't gonna get into that, but they cheated him in that fight. Mm-hmm. So, no, that wasn't even the Fundora fight.
That wasn't the fight. You talking the fight?
Yeah,
this he lost.
No, that was the Fundora fight that they cheated him out of. But this fight right here, this was some different shit. Mama Ebony, my sister, I had to hold her back. She was about to jump in the ring, y'all. She was going in the ring during a professional fight that's on television. I'm like, you can't do this shit. No, that's my baby. No, he got to fight all of us. I'm like, we gonna fight them, but we gonna wait till the fight on TV is over. We catch their ass in the locker room or something. But sis was at it. I know it wasn't your highest moment, and I know it was your baby in there, but y'all know she took her shoes off. Now, y'all know a sister from the hood, once they take their shoes off, it's either one of two things she about to do. She either about to race your ass in the street with no shoes on, because that's what sisters used to do back in the day, or she about to get up in your butt, she about to whoop your ass. And she took her shoes off and was about to go up in the ring. And I'm like, sis, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. I never asked you what was going through your mind, sis, but what better time now than never? What was going through your mind at that time?
Because he was beating the hell out of my son.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Jamonte was handling.
He probably wouldn't beat it, but to me, like he was like my son was like he's a lion. But to me, from a mother's point of view, I'm like, oh hell no, I gotta help my child. But I know, like, thank you for saving me for catching the case. I can't do that. I can't do that. That's why now I just sit there, try to be quiet this weekend.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do. But Jamonte was handling himself. He kept coming and kept coming out. Come on now. But as a mother or as a father, I would definitely, I feel a certain way when certain things are going down and it look bad. I mean, it's boxing. They all get hit.
Jamonte always hold his own, but that was his first loss, and I know he had a lot going on in his head, and man.
Well, you know what? I love how he bounced back. He a warrior, so he bounces back. He bounced back, came back, a couple wins. Now we back at it this weekend. So make sure y'all tune in April the 9th. It's on the Erickson Lubin card. All right, and it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait for the new venture that he's in. That's gonna be a good situation. He went out to Vegas and trained with Kevin Cunningham and the guys out there he's been out there a couple months, I think. So I talked to him, sis. I sent the stuff out there today, and he told me, he said, Wyatt, I feel rejuvenated, man. I ain't felt like, I don't know if he told you this, but he told me a couple days ago, he was like, I ain't felt like this in a long time, man. I feel brand new. And
Yeah, he said the resurrection.
that's good. That's a great thing. So now let's get back to this topic, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. What you said is correct. We do, like I said, we enable these men. We don't hold a higher standards, and we do let them treat us like an option. So, like I said, we play a part in it on our own. I know I played a big part in my situation, because I should have walked away a long time ago when I realized that if a man don't fight for you, he don't want you. Yes, we want men to change for us, but if they're not willing to change for themselves, how can they change for us? And some people are just who they are. And I wouldn't want for him. He ain't want me. Because if you really want somebody, you want to be with that person, you're going to do everything in your power not to lose them and do what you can to keep them. And instead of us ignoring that, we have to acknowledge that. It just hurt that we as women, we nurturers. We love so hard, and we just want to be loved right. And we want to feel loved. Nobody want to be single. I don't want to grow old. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be by myself when I'm an empty nester. I want a great man. I would love to have a black man, but my option, I'm not one-sided. I would date any race.
Yeah. Let me say something that I said yesterday. I brought it up yesterday, and I've been saying this. And hopefully, I don't care if I'm on the hook for saying shit. I'll be honest with you. I say what I want to say. But I think that where black men are lacking is the fact that when you don't have a father in the house, it's tough to learn how to be a man from a woman. And I keep telling people that. And see, I know you have two boys that turned into man. One is a man, one is a young man. And but I say this, and I'm guilty of it myself. See, my mother had me when 14 and all that old shit, all the same old shit, okay? And she can't teach me how to be a man. So I had a late start on how to construct a family, how to be a husband, and I'm still a work in progress. I've been doing it a long time, but when you start late, you tend to get in bad habits, and those bad habits are hard to chip away and fall off of you. And what happens is this: if you understand, see, men and women are two different creatures. We know that, right? I found out that we can never think like a woman. Okay, we don't think alike. We just don't see things. Sometimes we can read soup can labels totally different. And what I mean by that is, we just see things different sometimes. It don't make it bad. But if you don't have a man in your life at the beginning to make you understand why women view things a certain way, you guys may see it out of a different lens, then it's very hard for us to understand from a young age how to understand you guys. And if we grow up with a bad understanding, then we're being taught, even if it's a self-teaching, which most of the time it is, then we off course of being a great man or a good man. And then women don't really understand, because that little term when they hit us with the "you a mama's boy" and all that old shit. Y'all say mama's boy and all that. See, that's too much mama. That's too much mama for a son. When another woman can say mama's boy. Now, if you're raised by a man, chances are women aren't calling those type of dudes mama boys. And I'm talking about a real man that's going to keep his son out of being mama boy material. And that's just, that's my take on that. And I think one of the reasons why we having our issues is that, we don't have enough men in the household to teach these young men how to become a man and how to be a husband. I'm guilty of it myself. I'm not trying to talk about anybody. Shit, I'm talking about myself, quite frankly. If we don't have someone to teach us, it's kind of one of them things where we end up learning on the job. And you can't do all jobs that way. You can't learn on the job. Shit, you can't learn how to put out fires as a fireman. You can't learn how to be a police officer on the job. You got to go to some form of training. Are we going to always be out there on our own and trying to figure this shit out? And we're never going to be right for you. And another thing, I blame a lot of black women for the fact that men are, our options are what y'all put out there. You in order for us to be better, you have to expect better. Can you hear me, sis?
Oh yeah, I hear everything you said. I was moving around, so I had
No, it's cool. I'm just saying to you, like, if you stop accepting bullshit from these dudes and see, listen, this is gonna sound like some hater shit that I'm about to say right here. But I'm not a strip club dude. But you know them strip clubs will be full. But they not just full of men. They full of women in there too. And if women continue to sell themselves in strip clubs and continue to sell themselves um, in on social media, and you know, I can always tell when a woman ain't got no man on social media. She ain't even got to say I'm single, y'all. She can take that description. You can take the profile off of a woman. You can tell how she moving, just how she taking her pictures on social media. I say it all the time. You can tell when they finally got somebody because shit slow down. The pictures and all that old shit, they sell themselves. They want to sell the cleavage. They want to sell the shots like this and all that. It's a combination of both men and women. You can fault us both for what y'all going through. And I'm reading some of the comments as I talk, and they said, Athea, of course, my sister, I knew she was going to be tuning out soon. And she says, Wyatt, you blame women? Huh? Yeah, I do. I blame both. I think that if y'all set your standards higher, like I've always said, if you set your standards higher, then maybe men will get better. And I know that ain't going to work good with some people, but it's true. It's true.
So let me ask you a question. So this been going on before social media. What's the excuse about, like, when somebody making a comment about saying women post half news, this, that, and the third. But what about when we didn't have social media? What was the issue in?
Y'all always, I mean, shit, y'all always, you know, sold yourself some kind of way. I mean, not sold, but you know what I'm saying. You always displayed yourself some kind of way. It's not social media that do it. That just happens to be the platform that we can use today. But there's always been some kind of way to do it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was back in the day. I can't talk about that. But women are not going. Y'all not gonna agree with me because I'm coming from a male's perspective. All y'all can say is what men do wrong. Y'all ain't gonna never say no shit about what y'all do wrong. And I'm reading the comments. I'm reading the comments. That's why I'm sitting here saying what I'm saying. But see, that's part of the problem. Go ahead, sis.
No, I'm saying, like, we do. Like I said, we all got to take accountability. Sometimes we do stuff on social media. Sometimes I'll post a picture and I have to take it down sometimes because I'll be like, damn, Monte gonna cuss me out. But we do. And at the same time, it's always I feel like with this type of conversation, it's always the finger pointing. Like, you did this and you did that, instead of us saying, okay, this is where I'm lacking at, this is where you lacking at, let's figure it out. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, I know, like, taking accountability instead of pointing fingers.
Yeah, I get you. But listen to this. Delita Hill just said this. She says, black men lack of will of power, not the woman. See, that sound crazy to me. That sound not crazy, but that don't sound accurate to me. Why is it that we, why do we lack the willpower? In what kind of way? See, it's way more to it than us wanting every woman and wanting multiple women. It's more to it than that. I don't think it's about willpower. Because think about it, sis. When you bring willpower in, unless a man is just a monster and he's going to rape you or something like that, we can't do nothing until you say yes. So I don't understand the concept. I don't understand why someone would say it that way.
So do you think that men feel, because I feel like the men nowadays don't even fight for the women that they love. They feel like, oh, well, you don't want to be by, I'm going to go on to somebody else. If you don't want to, like, I just don't feel like they fight for us. I feel like they have so many options that they don't have to deal with the chase. They don't want to chase us. They want us to chase them. It's just, I don't know. I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like men feel like they have so many options, they really don't have to chase you. And they'll tell you, like, I ain't got to chase you. I'm not about to chase you. Well, start listening back to some R&B or something, because when I was growing up, the R&B men was chasing the women and happy. I'm just saying.
If you say so. I mean, if you say so, sis. I don't. I don't know how to define this. I just have an issue when women put us in a category and say that black men aren't doing right, because I just find it to, first of all, I find it to be a little bit of disrespect. I just think it depends on where you're looking and what type of man you're interested in. That's just me. So sometimes you got to look in the mirror when you're looking at people that's just not working out. Eventually, you got to look at a common denominator there and say, well, what am I doing wrong? You know, what am I doing wrong? Maybe what your eyes see is not what your heart really wants. You see what I'm saying? A man is very attractive and does certain things, and he might do a lot for you visually, but the inside of him may not be what's working for you. So maybe we need to let the heart lead, or some, maybe giving other people that look a different kind of way, give them a chance. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily a white man. It could be a brother that's cool and he's athletic and this and this and that. That might be exactly what you like. You might not want not a geek, but you might not want a computer head dude, or a dude that's a I don't know, a computer analyst or something. You may not want that type of dude because he may not be as exciting, but he may love you harder than that athlete dude. But you're not giving, you cutting out 50% of the men in your own race by just chasing a certain athletic status type of dude.
See, and that's not true. I just dated somebody. I mean, I was dating somebody way different than what I ever did, dating, and way shorter. He Jakari height. So that's so totally different. I'm 5'9", we still bone. So that's totally different. And he lied. And I end up, seeing him somewhere with somebody, and he put his head down. I mean, I didn't do nothing, but he, I didn't cause a scene or something. I just laughed. And he still to this day lying about it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I don't know. And this is somebody totally, totally different than what I'm used to. I mean, totally different than what I'm used to.
So let me ask you something. This is going to sound kind of crazy.
It's all right.
Well, I needed an answer. Maybe some other sisters, including yourself, will answer this. But because this happened to me. I was in Indianapolis like 2-3 weeks ago. And I said this yesterday. And I seen this white dude with his sister. And they were walking at the mall. And they were holding hands. And they were more like lovey-dovey. And just for the record, I don't know how long they have been together. That could have been first date. It could have been second or third date. It could be fresh wounds. You know what I mean? It could be very fresh. But for some odd reason, I'm looking at, I see them. It's pretty obvious, white and black. Okay. But then I see her and I see how happy she truly was. I could see it in her walk. I can see how she was glowing. I could see the fact that this man was comforting her and he was proud to be with her. And I know that's what every woman wants from their man. I know that. And this is going to be a hard ask, but I'm going to ask you, do you think sisters that step outside of the race, do you think that that's what they're looking for? They feel that white men are, I'm going to be specific and say white men. Do you guys feel that white men will treat you better than a black man? Is that a fair question to ask someone?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not going to, this is what I feel. I feel like because when you come from love, it's easier for you to love. When you understand, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I feel like a lot of black women is happy with white men, because a lot of them come from love, so they know how to love correctly. Well, let me rephrase that, because at my correct is not everybody else. But I feel like if you come from love, you know how to love. And even if you don't come from love, if you want to learn, if you want to know how to love, you will learn how to love this person. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, like we don't communicate, like a lot of times that in relationships, we don't communicate. We don't know each other love language and this, that, and the third, because sometimes it just be physical. Mm. But yeah. Well, and I love black men, but I'm motherfucking tired.
I feel you. Hey, listen, this is a hard one for me to tackle. And the reason being is because I've been with a black woman for over 20 years. Or a woman. I've been with the same woman over 20 years. So it's a very hard concept for me to take in. I can't speak from a black man's perspective of being out here dating several different women and all of that. I can't even give it to you like that. So I'm very limited on experience and all of that because it's been so long. And I can't tell you, what the guys are saying anymore. I can't say that. Now, I do know that I grew up in an era, not grew up, but when I was out in the, out there, I remember brothers was getting white girls, so to speak, and sisters was always angry at that. And I never understood, I did get it. I understood why they were angry, but I never understood why y'all didn't do the same thing. Why you were so committed to us when we were not as committed to you. And I'm starting to see that I was probably wrong because some of the older people, like the new Supreme Court Justice who they're going to nominate, who they're going to bring up, she's married to a white guy. Our Vice President of the United States is married to a white man. And, I'm just, Glenn just said something that was on my mind, sis. I didn't read all of his statement. I didn't have to because my mind was in the same place. He says, who the hell said white men come from love any more than black men come from love? Says who?
Stop cussing, dude.
No, it's cool. But I understand that question. I understand that question because I came from love.
To say, but again, I'm speaking on my experience. I'm speaking from my experience. Like we experience the white women that I know that's in, even though they know how to cover up stuff just like we do. But this is from what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. I'm not saying that because I know like I said, I got black sons and my sons come from love. I talk to my kids every day and I tell them I love them every day. I show them I love them. If I don't condone bullcrap, if my son, no, don't bring no other female around me but your woman. I'm not condoning none of that. So I know that a black man can come from love because I'm giving a black man love.
See, that's my whole point there, sis. It's not a matter of us not coming from love. I think if you could take that back, you probably would. Let me explain why. I know what you meant. But see, what it is not necessarily love. It's the teaching of how to be a man. And that's why I keep telling single women that you can't teach a boy how to be a man. There's just certain things. And I learned that the hard way. I'm a product of it. I keep telling everybody, I am a product of a mother who raised a son with a mountain of love, a grandmother who loved me, my aunts, they all loved me, but none of them could teach me how to be a man. Okay, and I think what happens is men are raised by, it's like this. This is going to sound really ridiculous to a lot of people because I don't do well with using synopsinals. I don't do well with using examples, okay, but I'm going to try. It's almost like me being a baby wolf, but I'm being raised with lions. I'm learning how to live in the wild by the lions, but I'm still a wolf. So I got to learn how to hunt. And I got to learn how to do what wolves do. But I got lions who are teaching me how to eat out in the jungle, out there in the wild. I'm still surviving and I'm still able to do what I need to do on an everyday level and be who I need to be. But I'm still missing something inside. I'm still missing an internal father, an internal man inside of me. That's why I keep trying to tell people that probably, I don't know if that was a good example or not, but that's why I keep trying to tell people that it's impossible. Now, a woman could raise a boy to grow up to be a man, but there's still going to be some things that he's missing internally. And it's going to be a thing that men can teach men. That's just my personal opinion. And it's just like a woman. I can't teach my daughter how to be a woman, but I can raise her to be a productive woman. But I can't teach her how to be a great wife for a man. And I don't think women can teach a boy, how to be a great husband for their wives. I just don't think that can be. I just don't think that can be done. That's just my personal opinion. I
agree with you on that. Like on the fact, I feel like because even with my son right now, the 13-year-old, he used to be in Cincinnati for the summer because I can't teach him a lot of things, but his dad, Monte, they all could teach him stuff. The thing with Monte, I feel like the way Jamonte turned out, we had a village and me and his dad co-parent to this day. because his daddy taught him a lot of things that I couldn't teach him. So far as you saying a woman can't raise a man, I am not arguing with you about that.
Okay, because some sisters get angry at that because, we got a lot of sisters out here raising men, raising boys and trying to make them into men. Like I said, I'm a product of it. My mother did an excellent job the way she knew how. But you got to understand, keep in mind, when a mother is single, there's multiple men, maybe not, you don't have to be promiscuous and all that, but there's multiple men that you end up seeing in a single mother's life. Okay, I faced that too. I don't mean to put my mama out there like that, but my mother had several boyfriends. They all had different ways of doing shit. So I had to adjust to whatever was going on at that. That I absorbed something from every last one of them. Maybe I got lucky on some. Maybe some of them taught me some bullshit. But all I'm saying to you is when you had that type of shit going on in your life as a young man, you're learning a whole different respect for women. You may respect women, but you're also not learning stability. I know that sounds crazy, but when you, as a single mother, you're not necessarily bringing men all around them. See, boys aren't stupid. We know our mama is getting with somebody. You understand? We getting with somebody. Y'all getting with somebody. You might not bring them around. But come on now. I got memories in my mind that my mama don't even know about with some of her boyfriends. Shit that she don't even know that I remember or can even think of. And y'all got to understand. When y'all living that type of single life and out there like that, you don't have to be promiscuous, like I said. But when you live in a single life, first of all, you showing a little boy that a woman don't really need a man. So they approach y'all totally different once we become a man. We just like when you teach a man that a woman can be so independent, that can be intimidating to some men, some weak men. And then there's some men that look at women that are independent, and those are the ones that sit on the couch, play PlayStation, and wait for y'all to come home from work. And he asked y'all, "What we eating tonight? What you cooking?" There's guys that want the mamas out of the girlfriends, or out of who they dating. They want a mama. They don't necessarily want a mate. They don't want somebody until it becomes physical. But there's just so many combinations of what's going wrong that people don't talk about with single mamas. Single mamas raising these men is what we're getting out here. And that's why you see a lot of, think about it. Most black men, and this is going to sound contradictory because I'm not this. Most black men who are married probably came from a 2-family home. Now, I'm just throwing it up on the wall to let it stick, because you can say that about white people, right? You can say, well, most white people that have a husband and a wife, that's what you meant when you said they come from love. That's what you meant.
That's what I meant. I know what you
meant. I know what you meant. That's why I wanted you to say you probably would retract that and let me help you in saying it. You don't mean that we don't come from love. You mean they coming from a loving family, mother and dad, and they used to seeing that, and they know what the big house with the picket fence and all the story tells. We get it. I get it. But if you don't grow up that way, to be honest with you, you don't grow up expecting it. And if you're never taught that, and it's never shown in front of you, you don't pursue it. I mean, I'm looking at all the successful black women in Atlanta. I'm just going to go to Atlanta with it. You got women out there making $250,000, $100,000 jobs, college graduates, that's getting corporate money, and they can't find anybody. They're out. I mean, they could say it's 7-to-1 ratio, but it's a lot of men that's just dating a lot of women. There's just men that's just dating women, and it's because they can. But a man that's raised properly, he ain't gonna be floating around with all the women, and then once he turned 50, now he ready to get down with one. That's not what a real man does. Real man is a taught behavior. And now it's a matter of who is teaching him how to be a man. If it's a woman, y'all in trouble. Women can't do it. And I'm not trying to be on my Sammy. What's that dude name who be talking down on women and talking?
No, but you got a valid point. I have 2 sons, and I feel my son is 13. I'm shipping him to Cincinnati on the first thing smoking the last day of school, because I don't want to raise my son. I want him to be raised by me, because it's a lot of conversations he needs to have that I don't want to have with him, and that he don't feel comfortable having with me. There's a lot of things that he needs to learn, from a man and not me. I want to be a mother. I want to be a nurturer. I want to teach him to do the right thing, but at the same time, he needs to learn how to be a man from a man. I'm not a man, I'm a woman.
Right. I understand. And some people might not be gripping what's going on here, because, it's kind of, I might sound like I'm insulting someone because you've done an amazing job raising a son on your own. Not just you. I'm talking about all these single women out here who are raising sons on their own. But let me ask you, single women, you've had a son, you raised him and he went off to wherever, to the army, to the military, whatever. You've been single your whole time that you had this man. Okay. How many of y'all think your son is going to get married? You've never showed it to him. It's never been part of his life. He's never woke up in the morning and been like, "What's up, daddy?" He's never played video games with his daddy. And I'm not saying that's the case in all cases. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about when you have a woman that raises a single child her entire time having this son, what examples of black love, or whatever we want to call it, what examples are that's put in front of them? See, this conversation might get me canceled, because I'm just telling you from a perspective of what made me slow at wanting to get married, and learning how to really have a family, and learning how to take care of a family, and trying to be the head of a household and all that old shit. I watched my mama do that. So I'm doing it in a female type of way. That sounds crazy, but I can't do it in a female kind of way, because the female ain't gonna respect that.
I get exactly. It's a top behavior. You do what you see.
That's what I'm saying. Darlita, I'm not sure if you said that's not true, then you said true. So I'm gonna take it on the side of it being true, because it's my truths. I know. Okay, here's one right here. She says, "My son will get married. I'm not married yet, but I preach to them the difference with a 2-family household." Listen, that right there brings my point to being valid, and it's this. I'm not very good in this subject, but I gotta say what I say. We have to set an example. Even when he gets a wife, he still may not be all the man that he needs to be because of how he was raised. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm saying, if I was your son, Miss Willis, and you were preaching to me about how to get married and all that, you still didn't install in me what it's going to take to manage that marriage. You just stressed to me the importance of maybe getting married, the importance of being stable and having a family, but you haven't taught me how to be a husband. You taught me the way you know how to be. And I'm sorry, a lot of people may not understand this, but there's some brothers that are gonna cut my head off for this, but I'm just being honest. A lot of us have been raised wrong. We've been raised wrong. And it's not that we haven't been raised with love. We just haven't been taught how to love and how to do it the right way, because it wasn't in front of us. And here you're gonna have some brothers that's gonna be like, she says, I make no sense. That made no sense. Okay, we'll see. Time will tell in your case. Time will tell. And maybe, just like anything else, maybe you'll be one of those that it'll work out for by doing it the same way. You know what I mean?
So I have a question. So what you saying that it's a top behavior that they didn't like me, because it's all the time. Every time that we say we want to be loved correctly, it's always the comeback is, well, they didn't. Maybe the men they can't love you if they don't know how to love this, that, and the third. when are you willing to learn how to love someone correctly? Why don't you want to love somebody the way that you want to be loved? Do I make any sense?
You know,
Do you understand?
I can't really answer that. I'm not a, I can't, can you say the question again? I'm sorry.
Like when you say like, okay, um, it's a taught behavior. They don't see it. A lot of them don't see it in the household, and so it's almost kind of. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's a taught behavior. They don't see it in the household. So, but the other race, they see the white picket fence, the family, the happy, all this and that third. But the black men really don't see that. So every time women say something about being loved correctly and this, that, we want to be loved correctly. We want our men to do this and do that. The comeback 9 times out of 10 is a man can't love you right if he don't know how to love, or he wasn't taught how to love, or a man went in his house in the household this, that, and the third. But at what point do you, and I'm not speaking about you in general, at what point is a man going to say, I wasn't loved correctly. I wasn't taught how to love, but I'm willing to learn how to love because I love this woman and I don't want to be without her.
I mean, that's a hell of a question. I think it's a matter of how soon a man is willing to let his ego go. Because the first thing we always do, it's always somebody else's fault. That's the human way. It's never your fault that y'all didn't work out. It's never your fault that y'all ain't together anymore. It's never your fault. It's never my fault. It's them. And I just think that when we drop our egos and learn how to comfort our women, that things will get better in that case. I use that scenario of when I said I seen the white man holding the black woman's hand and walking down the street, and he was proud and he comforted her and he made her feel a certain way. And I'm saying to myself, like, damn, women want that. And that comforts you, that makes you feel secure as a woman. And I think that's all that really women want from men, to be honest with you. Y'all want everything, but I know this particular thing you want, and that is that comfort. You want to be loved. You want to feel like you're the only woman on this planet. Most of you want to feel that way, and you want your man to make you feel that way. And it's understood. It's an understandable behavior. I understand it. But I'm just trying to tell you that what I'm saying, you would think that what y'all want from a man, that a woman would be a better person to teach us. But I quite honestly think it's just the opposite. I mean, it would make sense that if you want to learn something, you learn from the people like a woman. I would think that a woman could teach a man how to be a man better, because you could tell us all the needs and the wants, and let me tell you what's in our mind. Let me tell you how we think. But y'all don't do that. That's not how y'all teach us how to be a man. You just be who you are. But that's just my opinion. I just think that a man could teach a man how to be a man better. And it takes a man that's with a woman that has a relationship and can set a precedent and set an example. And, that's just my feelings. And to be honest with you, I'm not that guy. I didn't grow up in that environment. I didn't grow up with the husband and the wife in front of me and somebody to tell me this is how life is supposed to be. Yeah, I didn't have that. But I'm a big enough man to say some shit that another man won't say. And the crazy shit is this. I'm getting more pushback on my comments from women than I am men. And the reason why I'm getting pushback from them is because they're probably women that are single and don't have a man or have a boyfriend or something, and they're raising a son on their own, and they're not even trying to understand what I'm saying because they think they're right. They just like I think I'm right, but they don't think what I'm saying make any sense. And you sitting here hearing it from an individual that's going through that shit, and now you're on the phone saying, well, I know that I need my son's father in his life. He has to teach him how to do certain things that I just can't do it. And that's what I've been saying. And you, at least, Ebony, you were big enough to say, yeah, certain things I just can't do. And
No,
see, that's what I'm saying. But see, in order for this shit to get right, sis, you got to be able to admit that type of shit. And I got to be able to admit that I was fucked up. My mama taught me some shit and didn't know what she was teaching me. And the first thing that we got to understand is this. The only way we're going to value women the way women need to be valued it has to come from another man. A woman can't teach you how to value the principles of a woman and a marriage and all that shit. Another man has to set that example. A woman can't do that, especially a woman that ain't even living the way she's trying to tell you how to live. It can't be done. I mean, you can fake the funk and all of that. You can pretend, but so okay. Delita, I understand. So Delita is just disagreeing with everything I'm saying. And I like to know, maybe from Delita, maybe it'll make sense if Delita call in and tell me why I'm wrong, first of all, and I'm okay with being wrong. I'm not going to be right to everybody. That's the beauty of conversation. It's just that I'm giving you a perspective of a man. Y'all want to know why men don't marry. Why? Let me ask you this, Ebony. Do you know the reason why black women are the least group of women on this in this country to get married by a man? Is it because the bullshit that everybody wants to say, and that is half our men are gay, the other ones are in jail? That's bullshit. We got a lot of black men that have families. We got a lot of black men that are that take care of their families and take care of their bills and take care of all their shit. I can only do one call at a time, Delete. I'm sorry, sis. Call back soon as Ebony get off, and we'll smash it out. We'll talk about it. Maybe you'll say something to me that'll wake me up or make me understand a different perspective, and we'll do it in a nice kind of way. I'm not trying to be disrespectful in my delivery or whatever I say. I'm just saying that a lot of people who have a lot of things to say about black people and how we do things and how we move, you don't know how they were raised. I hear a lot of people who were raised in great families or had a mother and a father, and they got all these answers, whether it's on the air or on podcasts or on radio. They all trying to tell us what we need to be doing and shit. But they was raised in a 2-parent home. They went to better schools. They had different examples. They were raised a certain way.
And I was raised in a 2-parent home. My parents still together.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but see, here's the problem. It may not be you. See, you can't just go out and get a guy and just marry him just because you came from a 2-parent home. You got to find somebody that's equally in that same groove, that want to do the same thing you do. So maybe you're running into guys. See, here's the thing, man. I just personally will say this. Until women start saying, I'm not just going to be messing with anybody, I'm higher up in my standards. And I know there's a lot of women sitting on the couch waiting to get put in the game because they going to keep their levels high and they just not going to date anybody. I get it. It's a very hard onion to peel back and try to figure out the problem. You don't want to settle, but then you don't want to the Mr. Prince Charming is not knocking on the door every day. I get it. I don't have an answer to the solution. All I can tell you is what I see and what I've been seeing over the years and through my experiences as a man is I've been fucked up since the beginning. Okay. I didn't really learn, and I'm still a work in progress. I didn't have the example of what a man needs to be a man. One of the reasons why we don't go to school as much as black women are out like doing us 4, maybe 5 to 1 in education. We don't value the education because we're too busy trying to do all those substitute things to impress you guys. That's just how I feel about it. Most of the dudes that go off and get a job or go off and hustle and try to do things, they doing it to impress y'all.
Yeah. Well, I'm speaking for I know, to be honest, like my selection in men was not too great. And I actually passed up. I feel like I passed up on my husband, but I'm not going to say I passed up on him because at the end of the day, I wasn't ready, and I did not want to mess him up so he couldn't be a great man to somebody that was ready for him, because that would have been selfish of me, So I wasn't ready, and I know my selection of men is not too great. So, but that's the thing. I had to acknowledge that. I had to acknowledge my wrongdoing and I had to get myself together so that I could make better choices when it comes to men. Because at the end of the day, I do have a 13-year-old son. I want to be happy.
Right.
I'm not gonna say settling. I'm not settling. I'm just gonna say how can I put this? I don't want to settle for anything because I don't want to settle for mediocre happiness. I want to be happy to my fullest. I want to be happy. I'm 43 years old almost. I may not look like it, but I am. So I feel like I spent my past dealing with shenanigans, and now that I'm in a different space mentally, I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready to give my future husband 100% of me, because a lot of times we carry a lot of baggage and a lot of hurt, and I didn't want to carry that into another relationship because that would mess up my relationship in the future.
So now let me ask you this, sis. Let me just ask you this question. What about trying other races, like, you know, the Tom or whoever you referred to in the post? Are you really at that point? And do you really?
Yeah.
What would
Definitely.
what was stopping you? Is it just your commitment of your commitment to the race, to the brothers?
Yep.
Or was it the fact that you just, okay, so it was a loyal commitment. It wasn't that maybe, I mean, you weren't embarrassed to go out and be seen. Would you be embarrassed to go out with an Asian dude? Would you be embarrassed to go out with a white dude?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like, I'm dead serious about dating outside of my race. Like, I was being silly, but I was being serious. Like, I was loyal to the African American man, king, this, that, and the third, but I'm very serious about dating outside of my race. I'm going to see the little Mexican man at the mail at the post office. He always flirting. I'll be to see him tomorrow to drop my phone number off.
Okay. Well, you know, I say this to you, sis. Sometimes you have to be taught how to be loved. I mean, give it a shot. I mean, this is going to sound, some people ain't going to like what I'm telling you, but sometimes you got to give yourself a shot to experience different things, because what you might end up doing is going over to the, and seeing and experience some things and find out, damn, it's the same way over here. I mean, they do the same shit. You just never know, but you'll never know unless you try. And I just think that sisters deserve so much more. And I'm going to tell you something that's very powerful right here. I may not have said anything that's right in anybody's mind today, but I will say this. You just spoke of happiness. I'm going to tell you something. The more happy you are as an individual, whatever relationship you're in, whether it's a white guy, black guy, Asian guy, Latino guy, whatever relationship you're in the household, and your kids are around you, especially a son, the more happy he sees you, the better he's going to be in his selection and how he lives his life. Trust and believe. Because if you got a mama that's always angry at men and this and all that, you don't know what you liable to say around him. You don't know what you're teaching him. And, take it from me, And here's the thing. My mother ended up with a husband later in life. Okay, I was older, and he ended up being a corporate dude. He was all the stuff that I had never seen before. Okay, and some of the dudes, and not all, because she dated some good guys, but there were some guys at the beginning that was we from Laura Holmes, so it is what it is. But as I got older, she ended up finding someone and got married. Now that man that she married happened to be a guy who was in a 2-family home, prominent. His dad was an attorney, and his mom was like a stay-home mom and all that old shit. And they was a black family. You see what I'm saying? And and he turned out to be no different than slick, pretty ass Ricky from down the way to me. So it's I'm telling you the truth. He ended up probably being, since she married him. I don't want to speak on him because he's passed away since then, and I don't like to speak bad on people's souls, but damn, I mean, he did some things for me that he didn't really realize were good for me, but there was a lot of stuff that he damaged me on. And you got to be careful who you select, because he may have had something to do with how I turned out to be as a man when it came down to my choice in women and what I was doing and the bad decisions I was making. And I sat there and I watched my mama go through it. And, that might have set precedent of how I'm going to be. Even though he didn't birth me, you don't have to birth someone to take on some of their habits. You can just sit back and watch. And I just think that when you become super duper happy, your son will understand what love truly is. And that's going to set more precedent than anything that you can tell him. He can sit. Men are observant on their mamas. That's why I'm going to say this. Men going to be like, they know what I'm talking about. I don't know too many men that don't want a woman that's like their mom. I hope that don't sound creepy because we grown in here. I'm talking about how our mom holds shit down, how powerful and how strong our mothers are. Okay, we all want someone like that. Okay, I remember asking my mama as a child, I don't know if she would remember this, and I don't know who's going to take this, and I don't care how y'all take it, to be honest with you, but I remember asking my mother as a child, I hope when I get married one day, I hope when I get a woman one day, I hope she's just like you. I remember telling my mama that. Now I was younger, but I remember telling her that. Now for me to be as inquisitive as I was as a kid, I had to be in a certain space at that time to watch her do man type shit. She was being a father and a mother to me. But you got to understand, that same woman couldn't teach me how to be a man. All she could do was teach me how to get a woman who want a woman like her. Now, what was she? She was powerful and she was this and she was all that, but she was also single and not married. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So it becomes deeper than a lot of people can even see, or where they don't even want to pay attention to some of the things that control our minds as a youth. And the things that we see are very impressionable. And men who are raised by single mothers tend to think that it's okay for a bunch of women to be out here single because their mama did it. Mm. See, nobody's thought of it that way. So when I make my comments and I say what I say, there's a little bit of science behind what I say. You may not agree, not you, sis, but some people may not agree. But that, it says a lot. It's just no different. It's no different than this, sis. You live in a household. Let's just say the white picket fence or whatever. Generally, kids end up being what their parents are when they come from good families, right? Like if your dad was a lawyer and your mom was a doctor or something, chances are that's going to be a productive kid. Chances are that kid is going to graduate from high school and go directly into college with some type of direction. They have an idea what they want to be. You know, that's just because that example and that precedent has been set in front of them. And, you know, I can't speak for everyone, but that's what I see. Most of the kids that are sitting in universities are there because they're following the leads of their parents. Mm-hmm. The leader says, stop that. And then she says, because they had opportunities as far as.
You want to let her call in?
Let's let her call in so she can give me the business.
Comments while she calling in.
All right, sis. Appreciate you, babe. All right, Delita. Let me put the phone number up. Everybody in college didn't have money, Delita. That's just false. That's false. Everybody, I went through school, I ain't have a dime. You know, everybody in school don't have money. It's you can get through school. You can go to school, or there's ways, excuse me one second. There's ways of going to school and getting to school and you know, you can get there on scholarship. That stuff has to be put into you early in life. Excuse me. You can go through scholarship. You can go on student loans. There's opportunities. It's about getting with the right student counsel or counselor to give us those opportunities. And we got to have parents that are forcing us in that direction. Quite frankly, I hate to keep getting on my mama, but I'm just going to be honest with you. My mother, I was a high school guy. As long as I made it through high school, my mama felt like she did her job. She didn't even push me to go to college. So I ain't putting it on her, but I'm just saying, nobody, and when my children hit the 8th grade, we already start working on things. That's why my daughter right now, who's a junior in high school, actually, she's almost a senior in high school right now. That's why she's going to graduate high school with an associate's degree from the University of Cincinnati, because I felt like, and her mom felt like, education was the key. When you push education to these kids and you start it young, it's like this false perception that Asians are so smart. No, they take education serious from the beginning. They're no smarter than anybody. They just take education from the beginning and they just apply themselves at the beginning. And it becomes a number one priority. So I hate when people say shit like Asian people are way smarter than everybody. No, They just started education sooner. I mean, they just take, advantage of the opportunities of getting an education, and they know the value of it. Is this Delita? Hey, Delita,
Yep.
how you doing this
And
evening?
I have 6 kids, so stupidly. They weren't made stupidly, but I
Huh?
was
Wait a minute, say that again,
And they-
sis. That didn't sound right.
I know, right? I got 6 kids, okay? The 5 oldest, the one boy is in high school, but the 5 oldest, 2 of the girls already graduated from colleges, and the other 2 is in college, and the other one works at General Motors. So they
Good job.
got, you know what I'm saying? I do respect education. That
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
key. I never
Yes, ma'am.
knocked that one out.
Yes, ma'am.
But what's this utopia about a man? What is actually, define a man to me? That's what I want to know first off, before we get into this.
Wait a minute, I thought that was offensive. Just like when they asked the Supreme Court Justice lady, what is a woman? Can you define a woman? And you know how we all lost our mind? You know how we lost our
Because you're
mind?
saying a woman can't raise a man and that he won't be this type of man with a woman. Now, granted, when we talk about older relationships, back in the day, women were taught to stick with a man whether they liked him or not. That's just how it was. Now, when we are more liberal, women don't stay in those situations. And a lot of people have gotten divorced and got out of those situations. A lot of people are married 2 or 3 times because they're not happy. You shouldn't stay in any relationship just because, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
And as far as men, if you teach a man or any person to respect someone, it will be good to anybody. Not a good person with a good education or good job can be compatible with anybody. You shouldn't just settle because they have that. Then you'll be unhappy and they'll be unhappy. And I know men who took care of the home, who took care of their kids, and they still cheated and they still tiptoed out.
Okay.
So where that utopia thing is like crap. Like, I mean, if you respect someone, like, if you respect someone, man or woman, there's things you won't do because you respect them.
Okay.
You won't hurt them. And you know what will hurt them.
So why is it that you talking to me like what you saying to me, I totally disagree with? I agree with everything you saying, but you coming at me, Miss Delita, like I don't understand what you're saying. You're absolutely.
Men, because they raised in a single house. No, we can't teach a boy how to be a man. That's true. Because those certain qualities as far as being a man.
And that's all I said.
That doesn't mean that, hold on, but a man can still be a good man in a household and a woman. You can raise them, you know what I'm saying? That's some false stuff.
We're
dealing with a society that don't have that. Because again, we have a lot of brothers in jail, and
see, there we go. But see, there we go.
It's just a fact.
But see, there, I know.
It's a fact.
No, okay.
It's not a reason. A lot of women ain't with men because they cheated on them or they dogged them. That's why.
And where does that behavior come from? Where does that behavior come from, Miss Delita? Where does that behavior come from?
That becomes a choice.
I know, but why do men make those?
Hold on, just like these young people now, calling these women bitches and all that from the rap music and all that other stuff. And these women, they eat it up because this is their generation. And some of these people, these kids done came from 2 good family households. And they talk about and do that to women based on the media and the media sources they listen to.
Miss Delita, let me say this to you, sweetie. And I don't mean sweetie like in a derogatory, you know what I'm saying? I mean that with respect.
I know. Go ahead.
I'm older. So let me just say this to you. I'm
probably older than you.
I doubt it. I just look good. But listen, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. We're talking about why black women aren't getting married. We're talking about why black men are difficult to deal with. Those are the words. Wait a minute, hold on, Miss Delita. Hold on, and I'm gonna give you the floor. We're talking about why black women aren't getting married. We're talking about why black women are saying black men don't treat them right. I'm not saying anything that you said is not true. And there's always going to be situations where, okay, this kid is from 2-family household and he's still shitty and he don't act right and blah, blah, blah. We always going to have that. But we got to answer, why is it that the black woman is least likely to get married in this country? And why do black women say that I'm done dealing with these no good black men? I'm about to try to do something different. Everything you just said.
I don't think we all say that.
I don't think you do either.
It's a selective few.
I don't
and if
know.
you choose to go outside your race, that's okay too, as long as you find somebody that love you, first of all. But second of all, again, like the lady said before me, if that's all we dealt with was black men, then that's all we can describe, first off.
Yeah, but you don't think
And
it's
that's all
hold on, Miss Delita.
Huh?
You don't. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you a question on what you just said. You don't find it to be a problem when sisters say what they say, like, I'm about to leave.
No, because guess what? You with your woman and you said on your talk show you had messed up early on. You just got lucky that she stayed with you.
Well, you don't know what that mess up was.
I'm just saying.
But you don't know what that mess up was. You don't know what that was, but it could have been something that didn't quite make her not feel like a woman or make her feel less than. It could have just made it. It could have been a business decision where I made a risk and I risked everything. It could have been that, and maybe it went bad.
That's true. See, I don't know. See, we don't know everybody's story.
But you assumed that I did something that was just like what any other man could have got set out for, and you can't really.
Then why do you assume what you assume?
Well, because the numbers show what I'm talking about. Numbers show that women, and it's a proven fact that black women are the last woman on this planet, or I'm sorry, in this country, to be married. And also,
but we are also the most disrespected people on this planet too, right?
I totally agree with you.
Everybody.
I totally agree with you. But that disrespect is a taught behavior. Men are not born to disrespect women. They just don't do it. Disrespect comes from a behavior, just like race. You're not born a racist. You're taught to be a racist. You're taught that behavior. Disrespect is a taught behavior. And sometimes it's taught by somebody that you may not even expect it to be coming from because you don't get it, Miss Delita. I'm telling you from a male's perspective that what you're saying and how you've done with your children are unbelievably gorgeous. And you don't even sound like you raised any type of man that's going to be calling women bitches and hoes and none of that, right? You installed that type of respect. Okay, but we also have a group of people who don't install that, or even if they do install that, they don't install solidity or civility between a man and a woman. They don't do that. You have been so strong as a woman. Can I ask you a question? A little bit of a personal question, not too personal, but because I can hear in your voice how you was dealing with you said you had five kids, 5 sons?
I have 6 kids. I have 5 daughters and 1 son.
Oh, okay. I thought you had all boys. I'm sorry. I heard you wrong. But anyway, let me just say this. Is your son, how old is your son? Not old. Is he older?
17.
17.
17.
Okay. So he's not eligible
My girls,
to get.
they're all like 24 and up.
Are any of your daughters married?
2 of them are married.
Okay.
Yes. And they're
now,
very to respectful young men. See, they learned friendship and they learned to deal with a man who respects them.
That's a little bit different.
Both of them.
I think that when you look at women being married, it's a little bit different because you teaching a girl from a woman's perspective.
I'm not saying I was a good parent either. I'm not even good. My kids had issues with my ass too. But
yes, but you got to understand.
I kept them around. I kept them around good people for the most part.
I understand, and that's key. But at the same time, I just feel like we have to set the example. That's the only thing.
You do, but we're grown now. You're talking about grown people that went through their experiences, right? Mm-hmm. So then now you really gonna have to work on the next generation because at this point, this becomes all our decisions.
But there you go, Miss.
Everything we talk about
but there you go, Miss Delita.
We can't.
But there you go. There you go right there. You just said it. See, we so much on the same page, it's ridiculous. I just think that our experiences have to be brought out in the air so our next generation can learn how to do what we did wrong. And that's why I'm saying what I've been saying. And that is I'm from a place that didn't have what I really needed as a man. I didn't have it. So me putting that experience out there and me saying what I'm saying, it's not to degrade anyone. It's to really give a single black woman the opportunity to say, hey, you know what, even though some people might say, oh, well, he made it. You made it, Wyatt. What you talking about? I'm still big enough to understand and to admit to these folks on this air that I didn't do everything right. None of us will. But I'm willing to express to you guys on an open forum where I was lacking and it was being a man, and it was a part of manship or manhood that a woman just can't teach me. And that might be why
Right,
I
but
made.
it's all about, right, but we still can teach accountability, which we solely lack in every conversation. That's why we
Yes.
still have people
Yes,
out.
but
I'm just saying.
that's where you make the difference between, okay, you might tell them, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and I love you for this, but I'm gonna tell you something, Ma. This is the problem. You taught a man how to be respectful. Okay, that's great. My mama taught me how to be respectful, but she didn't teach me how to be a man. There's two different things.
Hold on, but
You can be a respectful
When
man.
if you dog that woman, that was disrespectful, right?
If I dog a woman, it's disrespectful. Yes.
Yes. Okay, then.
Okay,
So
so-
somehow you lost on the respect. Because
Well-
if you respected that woman, if you respected that woman or anybody and you knew that would have hurted them, you would have had enough respect not to do it, right? Am I correct? Those were the other things you did was your choice. But on like I said, what I noticed with people, they say, oh, I can't do this, or I can't say that because I respect them too much. That's what I mean by respect, because respect goes a whole lot longer way. You know, again, we can love people and we can love people unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? But that respect thing, that's something else.
Yes, and I
You know,
agree.
I can love you and not respect you,
Well,
and it'll show.
Let me just say this to
I'm
you.
just saying.
Let me say this to you, Miss Delia. You're absolutely right. Here's what I'm going to say, because sometimes I'm a little hard on my mama on this show, and she going to knock my ass out. But let me just say this to you. Of all the things I've ever said that might be on the left to my mom, she raised me to be respectable. But that does not replace the fact that I just didn't know how to be a husband. You can be a respectable, kind-hearted individual. That don't necessarily mean that you know how to be a husband. You could be the cleanest person in the world, but that don't mean
Y'all grow together though. You can grow together. You can learn together. Stop putting it out as if people cannot learn, like your learning power has been disabled because you weren't taught.
And what I'm saying to you is,
you can learn.
yes, Miss Delita,
I mean, you really can.
You're absolutely right, but you're kind of making my point every time, and that is this: if I have to learn how to start being a man at the age of 20. I'm not really going to be a solid man till I'm 30, 35, maybe 40 years old. By that time, I didn't
That'll be your choice, right?
But
That'll be your choice.
it's not necessarily my choice. It might just be how I had to learn. How we learn is not always our choice. It's like a dude when you go to jail. He learned at a young age that he can't do this. You can't do certain crimes, or you're going to go to the jail. Okay, but you knew that before you made the decision. You're just facing the consequences. Sometimes
that's accountability.
Right. Sometimes people go two times to the penitentiary, right? So you're facing the consequences. So they might go a third time. After that third time, they've learned the hard way, right? And that's what that's called, learning something the hard way. Now that a decade of this man's
that's what
right.
people go through.
A decade of this.
We're in a black. You got to understand one thing too. We as black people, we don't really have our own. We have to follow what white people do because that's all we know.
See, I don't do that. I'm sorry, Miss Delita. I've been done with that since the 6th grade. I don't follow. I don't, Miss Delita. If anybody,
you have to, because aren't you telling somebody else to follow to be a man?
No. Let me.
I mean, for real.
Well, let me tell you what I've been grown up to. Let me tell you one of the advantages that I had. I may not have had a daddy in my life, but I've had some powerful black men in my life that influenced me to the point where I understand that if I want to make a difference in how I think, I've been thinking like this since the 6th grade. Okay, I can literally tell you when I went to CCA in the 6th grade in Cincinnati, Ohio, it was Cincinnati Community Academy. It was an all-black school out in Madisonville. I don't know if you guys remember the Kellys, Mr. Kelly that had the nightclub. His parents owned this school. And it was a small selective, it was a private school that I went to. Actually, it was a small school. And it was in an old YMCA building in Madisonville. And I used to have to get up every morning at about 4:30 in the morning, get on 2 buses, go down to 49 downtown and like the 60, I think the 11 to Madisonville. It took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to school every day. And I love going to school every day because it was something that was being installed in me at that school. And it was me being who I wanted to be. It was me seeing my people every day. It was me challenging and being challenged by my teachers who looked like me, talked like me, felt like me. You know what I'm saying? And since the 6th grade, I've always been taught. My mentality has
So
been.
you wasn't around your whole life around any men to teach you how to be a man.
No, that's
what you're saying.
that's what I'm trying to tell you, that I was one of the fortunate ones. And being fortunate, I'm able to describe to you today what a lot of my friends who grew up in law homes who didn't have that type of opportunity that I had. I'm at least big enough. I'm not trying to blow big, but I'm trying to explain to you my path and my direction has been a little bit different than some of my friends who only had a mama and didn't get a chance to go to CCA, didn't get a chance to experience some of these black positive men. They didn't get a chance to experience. And you can see the differences in some of the things and the decisions we have made in life. None of my friends that I can tell you that I consider, you know, my friends that we were like this, none of them are married with families. None of them had that set shit in front of them. And I'm not, and listen, I'm not knocking them. I understand that when I went off to CCA, Mr. Stinson, my favorite teacher, was married to the Spanish teacher. There was a family-oriented base in this school, and it taught me a little bit different than what I was experiencing in my neighborhood. I was fortunate, Miss Delita. I was fortunate, and I'm not here not to say how,
But there's people who's fortunate and not been married.
No, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I can see where I have been fortunate enough not to fall in certain pit holes because of the examples and the people that were in front of me, where some of my friends didn't get those same opportunities to experience that.
I understand that.
That's all I'm saying.
I understand that, but when a man cheats again, that's his own actions.
You went to cheating? What you talking about, Miss Delita?
Stop getting men, grown ass men, to come up with these child ass excuses of why you cheated on a woman or a good woman that was good to you. If you didn't like it, and stop blaming the damn woman to say because she stuck around. Of course, we women love harder, and we want to see them. You know, we want to see them change or hope they change, and that's unfortunately a sad situation sometimes.
Miss Delita,
anybody you love, anybody you love too, you stick it out until you tired, and unfortunately that's what people do.
Miss Delita, stop it.
But it's not a woman's fault that a man go out and cheat.
Miss Delita,
unless she cheated first.
Miss Delita,
that's his own doing.
Miss Delita,
that's his own doing.
I agree.
No, he used the wrong head.
I agree.
He used the wrong head, and then he hurted the person who cared about him, and he didn't think about it. And now he coming back. So you get these men freaking reasons. Teach these young ones though, don't do that. That's what you teach them. Don't worry about teaching them to be whatever. Teach them don't hurt someone. That's what you need to teach them.
Well, let me say this to you. I agree with all that. The only thing that I don't agree with, and my sister just said, yes, we do. We love her. I don't think women love any harder than men. I think when the man finds the right person that he wants to be with, he loves her just as hard as she loves him. I think what happens is y'all okay with a man that don't love you as much as you love him. Y'all okay with that?
That is not it.
Well, why do you do it?
When you care about somebody, you will overlook certain things, because any relationship takes time. You got to accept somebody with their flaws and all, because nobody's perfect. Nobody is. So you come in and you grow. Relationships take a lot. You see all them people that's rich and successful, they get through divorce and they still cheat, but that don't mean crap. Relationships really take a lot, and it takes a lot of work.
So let me get back to this with you, Miss Delita, because I was reading your comments earlier. So I was just talking crazy when you heard me say that a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. You don't agree with that?
I agree with you. No, I agree with you on that part.
What?
Because he's a man and I'm a woman.
What?
I can't teach something I'm not. But I can teach him to respect women.
But that ain't gonna make him marry women.
Why wouldn't it? Well,
you're teaching him.
You can have a disrespectful ass man that's married. What the hell?
No, I'm saying that you did an excellent job. I can tell. I can hear the passion in your voice. You done an excellent job with your 4 girls and your 1 boy. I can tell.
No, but I have 6. First off,
5 and 1. Is it? I'm sorry. Damn.
I raised 5.
Damn. My bad. Let me get the scratch pad out. I'll keep up with the shit. What's the score again? 5? You said stop making excuses. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You said they need to stop.
I'm saying stop making excuses. Damn it. If you cheat, You knew if you got caught, because there's a lot of people who still do it and don't get caught. And everybody respect them. Oh, they such a good man. That don't mean they ain't cheat.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
utopia crap that really don't exist. So we teaching them some crap that really don't exist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody thought Will and Jada had that damn perfect marriage until August came out with the crap.
I don't think nobody ever thought I don't know if anybody ever thought they had a great marriage. I don't think that. I think for many years everybody
not recently. Yeah, not recently, no.
Yeah.
You know, but you hear about when the celebs come out with their books and then they start saying, but then you have all these other people giving advice on relationships, done cheated on their women. I'm like, what the hell? You make your own relationship. You know what you like and what you want and what you accept as far as grown people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you need to teach these kids, again, about respect for the most part.
So now,
you know what I'm saying?
Miss Deleted, I can't ask nobody but you this. I need to know, why is it that black women are the least to be married in this country?
Because they don't settle anymore. Okay, you do have a lot more women, black women, that's getting educated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but you still, they can get with somebody who ain't educated, but it's the lack of respect when you get in that relationship. I know a lot of educated women, and they men and treated their man like gold. That was that man, a grown ass man, choice to do what he did. Period. Now, if he want to blame his childhood, he wasn't taught to be a man. That's what I mean too. Like, then stop blaming. Like, you know what? It's just that we give everybody an excuse for some behaviors. That's just not excusable.
So you think
say what it is, say what you did, and move on then.
So you think the reason why you think, if I'm hearing this correctly, and then I'm gonna move on. So what you're coming to the conclusion of is the reason why black women are the least to get married in this country is because they're educated, for one, and then they're not tolerating what black men are putting them through. That's what you're saying?
It's any man, first off, and let me tell you this anyway. Some women still will tolerate crap. They love them. That's just it. A lot of people tolerate a lot of crap, even off their damn kids. When you love them, you love them. Period. It ain't no thing, but when you get tired, you get tired at the end of the day. And it ain't like that, you know, everybody's working now or doing 2 or 3 jobs. So, and we get out, but you still have these, like I said, you can go to the club. You got these married men who lie about their shit. So
you know what, Miss Delita, I can already figure out some of the shit you done been through. I can tell.
I haven't been through that. Okay, look, I was with one guy since high school. That's who most of my kids are by, right? And it's not that I prefer to be single, whatever. One, because I got to get myself together. I ain't trying to be with nobody. Anyway, I'm not even talking about that, but we talking about a relationship. You got to be compatible. You don't want to get in a relationship just to be married and y'all not compatible. You don't want to get with somebody to say you married. That's what a lot of people do. That's what I sat at tables where married people and they cheating on each other, but they can say they married. And the kids you got these kids living in these dysfunctional homes just to say they married.
So then why is it not, I hear more married people, I hear more unmarried people talking shit about how messed up it is out here than I do married people. You don't see a lot of married people walking around talking about how.
That's because they keep their business to themselves, right? But the people on the inside know what's going on.
Okay.
That just means you don't hear it. That don't mean it ain't happening.
No, I never said it's not happening. I'm just talking about,
exactly. But I'm just saying, you don't hear it, and the reason why it's more people, and the more people talk, because the statistics say more people not married. So of course, just like when they do statistics and ratio and they say, oh, the black people are more things, but that's not true. It's more white people, but because of our numbers are so much smaller, that's how they put it out.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say something, it's just, again, it becomes about numbers. So then when we break down the numbers, of course, you're going to have that because of how the numbers are.
So basically, Basically, Mr. Leader.
Teach your young men to treat the black women with respect in this damn country.
Right.
That's what you should do. What you all men should do, regardless. If you married or not, get all them bitches off of that radio shit and stop having them have these young men stop calling these women bitches and shit. I'm just saying.
So now let me ask you this though. When you hear all that shit going on in a club, I see all type of asses out on the dance floor. I see women talking about, yeah, I'm that bitch.
That's this generation.
Oh, okay.
That's true, but that's this generation.
Okay, it's women accepting that shit. It's the women calling themselves bitches, and yeah, I'm that bitch in that song, Cardi B's and all that. That's y'all representation.
Mine don't. Right. Mine don't.
Yours don't. But now let me ask you this. So now who do we blame? Who do we blame? If you saying, okay, you saying that's what the man is doing. He's saying all the shit in the songs and he's treating women with disrespect and all that shit, right?
No, what I'm telling you, I can't do nothing about what everybody else do because I don't control everybody else. But what I'm saying to you, even as a black man, is teach these young black men to treat and respect black women. Even if they don't respect themselves,
right?
You don't have to disrespect them.
Okay, and I agree with you.
You can show them. Show them another side.
So
but,
now,
I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Now let me ask you,
Mr.
Delita. Let me ask you, Miss Delita. You just said they need to be taught. We need to teach them. Whose job is that to do that?
Well, it takes a village, but then when we get to the point, and this is where I am too with these, because I had a conversation with a black man about he talking all the same stuff like you. I said, well, go out there in the community and help. I ain't helping nobody. So there you go.
So,
you know
okay.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm a big village guy. You if you ever heard me on here before, I'm a big village dude. That's what I feel I am. I feel like I'm holding the village down sometimes, even when people disagree with me or don't like what I'm saying. If you really think about what I'm saying, all my shit boils down to is accountability, holding people accountable for their actions. And
that's what I said too.
Okay, that's why I said we agree. We agree on a lot of stuff.
But at the end of the day, these are other people's homes, and then unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to reach everybody's home.
No,
so do what you can and reach who you can. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Now, here's my last question for you. I got to get it together because you done rattled me a little bit. Because we agree on the same shit, whether you know it or not. I thought it was going to be worse. I thought you was going to come on here and light me up because of something that I said that you didn't agree with. But when you start talking, I'm like, damn, wait a minute, hold on. You're saying the same thing I'm saying, you're just saying it different. The only problem is you think that a woman can teach a man enough respect on how to respect a woman that's going to make him a husband. And I'm telling you that it's not.
Well,
that's
you
not
know
gonna
what?
happen.
I'm gonna put this like this: as an individual, and when you get older, these are choices you'll make. All right, period. Because you can have that utopia life and do something different anyway. You know what I'm saying? So all you can do is learn, and you, like you said too, you learn from other people, and that might be the case with some. But it boils down to respect, because there's no ideal marriage other than what you believe is to be ideal marriage. You know, and if you can have a happy home, you can have happy people. If we learn to respect each other, we learn to respect each other's opinions. We might have different ones. We know what will hurt someone. We have to learn not to hurt the people we love.
I agree. And I think that is a taught behavior. It's a taught behavior. Like you said, we need to get our young men and with young women. You act like it ain't no one young women out here on these stripper poles. You act like women.
But we were talking about men at the time.
Well, it takes a man, but you got to understand what motivates, wait a minute, hold on. What motivates a man's behavior? A woman.
It don't matter. If you in a relationship and that woman entices you, she ain't with that other woman, you are. So that'd be your decision. Whether a woman come up to you or not, and she take off all her damn clothes, you know you with another woman.
See, Mr. Leader, hold on.
No.
Go ahead, finish the point. I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, finish the point.
No, you knew that you made a commitment to that woman, and it can go both ways. Women cheat too.
Yeah, but
listen, we talking about the man now.
You keep putting up this word.
If a woman entice you, you knew you made a commitment with that woman. So at that point, it's accountability.
But you got to understand.
When your mother's choice, I don't care who raised you. I don't care whatever. That was your choice because you knew what accountability was when you made it, right?
Yes, but Miss Delita, you
Okay.
are making this a one-sided subject. You putting all of this
What?
shit on cheating. There are men that don't even cheat on women because they're not in a full-time relationship with a woman. I'm telling you that has a lot to do with how you're raised. Men that find themselves staying single forever.
That's because they don't want to settle either, and that's okay too.
Yes,
If you figure out what you want, you got to figure out what you want in a relationship. Not what Paul want, not what John want, what your father, your daughter, whoever. You have to, as an individual, figure out what you want, what you like, and what you accept. And that goes for both men and female, men and women.
Right. So when I say that, my sister come on here and say, oh, hell no, Wyatt, not the women to blame. Yes. Can't you, are you big enough, Miss Delita, to say that it's both of us? It's men and women that cause this problem, isn't it?
No. Let me tell you something.
What?
It's a woman's fault if she stays in a messed up relationship. It's not a woman's fault if a man go cheat. No, that's two different things. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm saying. If a man cheats, that's his fault. If a woman knows about it and stays, then that's gonna fall back on her.
I agree with that. I kind of agree with that.
Not hers.
I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that.
That's you speaking from a man point of view, and like you said, we both think differently anyway. So if you believe that to be such, y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do anyway.
Boy, you just can't get off this cheating shit, can you? You just can't get off this cheating thing. You can't get off the cheating thing, Miss Delita. What's going on?
Because you just said it.
No, I'm talking about, but I know I made a comment. But before that, every time we bring up an issue about commitment and shit, or not commitment, but about the marriage thing and how a man's supposed to be a husband and how do we get to the point and all that, you circle back to the whole reason why he ain't shit is because if a man cheats,
but what are you talking about is the woman's fault then? Let's just clarify that up. When you say it's both parties' fault, what are we specifically talking about?
You just said that a woman does
No. I'm just asking you. When you said it's both men and women, because we gonna break it down. That's the only way we can get clarity.
Right.
When you said it's a man and a woman's fault, what did you mean by that?
I'm about to tell you. You brought up, well, not brought up, but you keep discussing cheating from a man. That seems to be your premise of everything that we're talking about. When in fact, it's more to.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, I never came up with cheating. Never came out of my mouth till you called. I'm telling you, I ain't said nothing about no cheating till you.
So what do you mean by then? What do you mean? Just the relationship period? Again, people are not always compatible.
Yes, but there's so many. Exactly. There you go. You, for the first time, said compatibility. That has nothing. Yeah. I mean, that could be another reason why a man doesn't marry a woman. Or where when they do get married, or if they do not get married, when they do date or whatever, one of the reasons why they may not have worked out is because they find out they're not compatible. Maybe he didn't cheat, she didn't cheat, and this and this and that. But I'm gonna answer your question. You just asked me, how could it be both people's fault? And I'm
what are we talking about when you say that though? That's what. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. What are we talking about when you say it could be a man and a woman's fault? It
can be a man or a woman's fault. A man or a woman.
Both parties.
Well, let me just say this to you. Okay, I'll say this to it like this. Whether we want to admit it or not, it's very clear how women feel. Some of these men out here are jokes. Some of these men aren't marriage material, and I'm not going to settle. It's fair to say that, right? That's what all the women are saying, right? Well, let me just say
that is what some women are saying.
Okay, but that's the subject that's the whole topic of the show is why aren't women going off and trying other men because the men that they're experiencing aren't good enough, or they're jokers, or they're not doing what they're supposed to do, they're not holding it down. So that's the premise of the premise of the show. But then you
taught to stay in their community. Some women were taught that. That's what they believe.
Maybe so. Maybe they were taught wrong. Maybe they were taught not.
Even, I mean,
Maybe. We don't know. I can't justify that. I can't say that they were. I'm just saying maybe somebody taught them the wrong thing. Just like a woman who was raised to live in an abusive relationship. Some women stay in abusive relationships because they were taught to take it.
no, that is not. Hold on. That's not true either.
Huh?
That some of them stay. Hold on. Some of them weren't raised to stay in an abusive relationship. Again, that comes back to love and acceptance.
Oh,
Some
come
of them are
on,
scared
Miss
to get-
Delita.
Hold on,
You
listen.
said that
Some of them
earlier
are
in the
scared to get- I know.
conversation.
Some of them are scared to get out of the relationship. Most women do get killed when they're leaving the relationship, and you can look that up statistically. So to understand that, when you're in an abusive relationship, it tends to stay there because, again, you accepted it and you thought they would change, one, or two, you were very afraid to leave. And a lot of the women that were in an abusive relationship that got killed was when they were exiting, not when they stayed in it.
Okay. All right. I get it. So maybe I got my callers mixed up, but one of y'all said some women stay in relationships because they were taught to be in those
No,
relationships.
I never say that.
Maybe it was Ebony
But
who was like, some of us are in relationships and we learn to deal with what we deal with because it was taught to us that way.
That could be so. That's not everybody, but that could be so. And she could be just speaking of herself and other people that she know. But there's always, it's millions of people in the world, so everybody has their story. So that could be part of someone else's story. Yeah, that's not everybody's.
Okay. All right. Well, all I can tell you is this. You didn't give me a chance to talk about, you didn't give me a chance to tell you how it was the woman's fault. We got that shit out of the man because he disrespectful and all that.
The woman's fault for what, though? I'm asking you, the woman's fault for what?
Damn, you're you know what? You're the first one that ever add some confusion to me to the point where I'm like, all right, we're out of time for the day. But let me just say this, because you got me circling back and forth on the same old shit. And I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to make it sound like that women aren't responsible for them not having good relationships. And that's bullshit. We both know that it can be caused by a man for whatever reason, and it can be caused by a woman. Okay, it can be caused by both, right?
Yes,
so
I agree with you on that part.
So there it is. You wanted me to be specific. I can't tell you why every woman don't have a man. I can't tell you why every man screwed up his own relationship. I can't tell you that.
Well, of course not. But if in the subject of topics, you got to break things down.
I did that. I told you. You might not agree with what I said, but I said one of the reasons why men don't get married is because they're not raised right. I said that at the beginning of the show. You might have missed that part. And then, of course, that's when all the sisters was like, yeah, hell yeah, yeah. But then when I hold them accountable for the shit that they might play a part in, now I don't know. Facts, Miss Delita. She need to call in all the time. Light his ass up, Miss Delita.
Raise right to do what, though? That's all I'm asking.
All I'm telling you, look,
I'm gonna break down every damn thing.
Men have to be taught how to be a man. You can teach respect, but there's just certain things that you have to learn.
God.
What?
Okay, so
you don't think
this is where I'm gonna stop. Hold on, this is where I'm gonna stop you on that. Okay, so all these single people out here, all these men out here that's single, they ain't men, and they got raised by a single mom. They ain't men.
Define a man. Ain't that what you asked me? Define a man.
See, that's what I'm asking you. When
No,
you said we can't teach them to be a man, so that's why.
Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth about something. Most men don't really want to get married. Most men don't want to get married. Now, why is that?
Well, everybody's broken up.
That'll shut it all down. Because you can talk about all that shit, and you got fans on here and all that old shit, but I bet you can't nobody answer that question. Why don't most, and I'll say most black men, why don't most?
How can I answer that question of another man?
Well, you just told me how you can raise a man and make him want to do, be married and all that. I'm just asking a question, just like some of the questions that you asked me.
You're asking me from a man point of view. I'm not a man.
Oh my goodness.
Let me tell you something too. They don't take accountability of what they did. I used to talk to men, and we'd talk about men and women. And I'd be like, when you was younger, you did your dirt because you was young, right? Did you ever go back to those women and apologize?
Hell no.
Women were never. Hell no. Most of them don't, right? So they'll start the broken train, right?
Kinda.
And most of you men want them to forget it, and you go about your nilly-willy way.
No.
Ah, yeah.
Now, can I be honest with you? Let me say one thing about that. I have found myself in a position one time that I know I did somebody wrong in high school. I did somebody wrong in high school, and I knew I was wrong. I was wrong. You hear me, Miss Delita? I did this young lady so dirty. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was bad enough for me to take it into my adulthood. And no. And here's the first thing that happened to me. Social media became a thing. And you know, us as older folks, we can, if we had social media back in the day, we probably would never lose touch with people that we grew up with. That's one of the advantages that the younger generation has today. They'll always be able to know the person that they either loved, didn't like, and all that. They can follow them and keep up with them forever. Some of us, if you went to school out of town and you from the old school, you might not never see them people again. But in my case, I had this situation in high school, and I know I did this young lady wrong. I think 20 years almost went by, and here comes social media. Okay, social media, or 15 years jump off. Here comes social media. And all of a sudden, I see damn near all these people on Facebook or whatever. And it's like a yearbook of all the people I used to see when I was a kid, you know, when I was younger, a young man. And I thought I'd never see them again. And I happened to see this young lady that I know I did wrong. And it took me to a spot. It took me to a spot. And that was just when I was developing into being a man mentally. And I was like, I absolutely did that girl wrong. And I actually got in touch with her and apologized to her for some shit I did 20 years ago to her. And you know what crazy? You know what's crazy about this, Miss Delita? Let me tell you something that's really true, dear, into my heart. When I apologized to her, she remembered every moment of the incident that I was talking about, and she cried. And just a grown ass woman with kids and all of that.
No, that's wonderful.
And she cried and she said, "Thank you. I needed that apology. I've always wanted that." And I'm talking about somebody I ain't seen in forever. You understand what I'm saying? Live in another city, the whole nine. And it took me as a man. I had to grow into a man to be able to be in that space in life, to be able to do that. And we don't do that. And see, all right, if I'm developing as a man, I'll take those steps. But there's some guys that never develop into a man and apologize. Just like you said, they'll never go back and make things right for someone else. They might make it right for themselves.
Grown, no, right, but they're grown. So they'll have to make those decisions. You have to start with the youth. And if they're willing to learn, then they'll do it and they'll learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
That's all I can say with grown people, for real.
I do. And Miss Delita, it's been unbelievably warming. It's been unbelievably challenging. And it's been unbelievably greatness to have you on the show this evening. And I love it. I wish you would call more often. And I don't wait to get on here and make no conversations when it come up about cheating and all that old shit. We need more out of you.
No, it wasn't that. It's just when I come on. It's just the time of day when I can get on. So it's not that. So
yeah, I listen. Everything you said, sis, I respect. Everything you said, I don't agree with everything, but I'm in the 90 percentile of agreeing what you said. We started out. You were coming hard. And I'm like, damn, wait a minute. Hold on. You're saying exactly what I'm saying. You're just saying it different. We agreed at respect.
My apologies.
No, mama. No, it was the passion. See, when people call me and just want to say some dumb shit and ain't got no passion behind it, it means absolutely nothing. Okay, but when you're passionate about it, I feel it. And, it took me nothing but 3 or 4 seconds to realize that you're right where I'm at with the subject. It's just that women and men are going to see this subject a little bit different because you don't understand what makes us do what we do. And then I don't understand why y'all do what y'all do or think the way y'all think. That's just what the differences are in men and women. However, at the end of the day, I'm going to stand on my circle. I just feel like men would be much better men if we were taught by men how to be a man. That's the only thing I've been saying.
That's true, but the reality of it at the end of the day is there's a lot of single families.
You know what? They said it was not. You know what? They said it was.
You have to go around it because that's what it is.
But Miss Delita, they
not gonna change it.
But Miss Delita, they said it was not reality that we would have a black president in the United States. Somebody told me that a long time ago. Come on, think straight. Think straight, son. Ain't gonna never be.
We only had a black reality because the white man trashed the economy. First off,
don't matter how he got there. It don't matter how he got there. He got there.
Exactly.
And it set a precedent.
So again, no matter, we just gotta work together with who wants to work with us. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. The beauty of having these conversations and having these platforms is letting certain people know that they're not alone. Okay, I'm sure you said something this evening on the call that let people know that they're not alone. They've experienced some of the things that you're talking about. And maybe I said some things that make somebody say, you know, hey, yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about. Or I didn't agree with him, but I understand where he's coming from. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we turned over a few rocks for some people and they get it. Some of my sisters on here, they ain't gonna never get it because they don't want to admit where they may be wrong. They don't want to admit, they don't want to accept what a man may say. And all the men on here may not agree with what I'm saying. But here's the thing. We can only speak from our own experiences. We can only speak from an angle from where we come from. I'm not sitting here trying to teach. First of all, I'm not trying to teach a man how to be a man. That's not my job. I didn't have a son. Okay. And I'm not trying to teach a woman how to be a woman. Now, I had daughters, but it's not my job to teach all these other people's people how to do what they do. Last time I tried to do all that, I got in trouble. The last time I tried to do something with a young man at the mall and all this old shit and try to school him, I damn near probably got. I probably was on the radar of getting my ass beat out here or something with some of these young boys. So I have to be patient and selective in how I pick my shots out here. And it's a sad situation. And it goes back to how these children are being raised. It goes back to that. And I think we all will admit that respect has to be taught to these children at a young age. And if it's not taught, somebody else gonna teach them, and it might not be somebody that love them.
Right, but this isn't like with these kids being raised. It's like really is nothing new. It's actually a lot of stuff has been going on. It's just festered.
Yes.
You know, because everybody started growing into their own and succeeding, and the other ones who just didn't have the opportunity were left behind.
I agree, so, and it's sad.
Of all that.
It's sad. It's a sad situation, but you know what, Miss Delita, as long as you and I having these conversations and we got people paying attention, the few that are here, maybe we can make a difference. Just having the conversation could be the beginning of making a change.
If you could change one person to a positive position or one change, it helps. You know?
Absolutely. Miss
So
Delita.
I agree with you. We're not gonna always agree on everything.
Absolutely.
But start learning to respect each other's opinion, whether we like it or not, then we can actually build to a better society too.
There we go. Miss Delita, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I promise you. I enjoyed our conversation. I hope you try to call me again one day so we can have another productive conversation.
No problem.
It's important that we have dialect. It's important that we talk, because if we're not talking about it, we're not learning. If we keep it to ourselves, we're not teaching it to anyone. So I appreciate you being here with me, okay?
Oh, yeah. I tell people about your radio show. They be like, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Make sure you let some people know. Tag some people or let them know.
They'll tell you something about me, too. I'm very, sometimes I'm learning myself, too, to have conversation. Probably back in the day, it wouldn't have went this way. But
all right. Well,
you
know what?
And I'm glad we respected each other. And
hey, listen, I don't expect it any other way. I really don't. I just think that we have some of the best callers and some of the best people that listen to the show because, we get along after the whole conversation. Some people tend to migrate off and go off and we don't talk about everything that, that other shows talk about sometimes, but sometimes we do. And then when we get into topics like this, it's hard for me to mediate without having an opinion. I can't just sit here and just be like, so what y'all think? And not have a take on it. And, I really appreciate you calling. You've been a great guest. And thanks to Ebony, she called as well. And without sisters like y'all, I don't understand why you don't go down and stand down there at that damn Jobs and Family Service building and get some of our kids together down there. And, you
hell no, them kids are bad as hell.
Oh, now listen to you. Listen to you. We need sisters like you out there. All right, Miss Delita, it's been a pleasure, okay?
All right.
Love me some Miss Delita now. Y'all was lightweight jocking. Get his ass, Miss Delita. Knock his ass, Miss Delita. I'm like, what is she saying that I'm not saying? What did she say that I wasn't saying? I thought she was about to come on here and prove to me that a woman can raise a man, and then she turn around and say all that old fly shit, and then she agree with me. Well, yeah, you right. She done did me with the head popping. I know she was talking on her phone like this. And you don't let another, and then when he cheat. And then at the end of the conversation, and I say, well, don't it boil down to this? Don't it boil down to that? And don't it boil down to this? Don't it boil down to that? And then I say, well, we started the conversation by saying, I just don't think a woman can raise a man. She can teach him how to be respectable and all of that shit. But I was taught to be respectable. But that didn't teach me the shit I needed to know. By the age I was 30, I was just starting to kick in to understand the shit I really need to know as a man. Mama couldn't do that for me. Mama raised a nice son, a respectable individual, but mama didn't teach me how to tie a tie. He didn't teach me how to understand a woman. She taught me how to understand her. That's all I can say about that. She ain't cracked no whips over here. I'm still standing. You see this face? I'm still standing. And I love it because guess what? At the end of the day, I did everything what I should have did with Miss Delita is I should have said, now say it after me. Say it after me, Miss Delita. You're absolutely right, Wyatt. She didn't set nothing straight up in this joint. What y'all talking about? All she did was do what y'all do and do all that old fly shit and made her points. And that nigga was cheating. And the nigga was cheating. And that nigga was cheating. And accountability cheating. That's all she did. And then at the end of the conversation, she was like, yeah, you're right. A woman can't raise no man to be a man. Well, that's what I was saying. But I agree with all the fly shit you was doing too. I agree with all the shit that came behind all this. I agree. Accountability. What else do I talk about on this show but accountability? I bet you Miss Delita, you know what I should have asked her? I should have asked Miss Delita, how you feel about when kids are young, 9 and 10, 11 years old, out here in the streets acting a goddamn fool? How do you feel about their parents? Do you feel those parents should be held accountable for the shit they kids doing, since you big on teaching kids responsibilities and respect and honor and all that shit? Don't you feel it's the parents' job to teach all of that? Because that's what you've done. You've produced 6 beautiful children, 5 girls and 1 boy. Let me make sure I was keeping score. Did y'all hear that shit when I said it wrong? Did you see? Mother, what? Nigga, get it right. I had 6, not 5. You wasn't in that birth room with me. That 6th one felt just as tough as the first one. I mean it with love, Miss Delita, if you're still listening. I'm just having a little fun. You showed my ass. When I got those numbers wrong, get it right. Get it right. Okay. Okay. My bad. Damn. She about cut my motherfucking head off for that one. Nigga. That 6th one felt. Okay. My bad. But Miss Delita was fun. I loved it. I loved it. I love the energy. And, you know, it's funny how we agree with things. It's almost like this. You know how I see certain conversations, some people gonna say, Wyatt, why would you even compare these two? Why would you do this? Why would you go there and say this type of shit? I look at some of these conversations as like the Bible and religion. Isn't it funny how you got all these different religions studying out of the same studying out of the same Bible, but they believe different shit of the same word? Like, thou shalt not steal. We all believe that. Christian, Baptists, Muslims, everybody believe that shit, right? But we might believe it a different way. Shit, thou not steal on Tuesday. Thou shalt not steal unless you given to the poor. Shit like that. I mean, religion is like law. It's a language that you can interpret any way. Because listen, law is not cut and dry. It's not right and wrong. It's an interpretation. You can read from a law book a perception of a law. You can read it. And what you get out of that perception of a law could be two different ideas. And that's why you have a defense a defense, and you have a prosecuting team. And they reading from the same law book, and they both arguing the same point differently because it's language. It's language. Bible is language. And I think sometimes on these shows and what we talk about sometimes is language. It's all about how you interpret what we're saying. And when I say some shit like, oh Lord, I don't believe that women can raise men to be men, all the single women who have raised children their entire life is looking at me like my Bible don't have no legs to stand on. My law has no legs to stand on. You're not interpreting it like I see it. You're not doing it. And it's just like religions. Once you get on a team, once you're a Catholic, shit, I ain't going to no Baptist church. Once you're a Baptist, I ain't going to no motherfucking Christian church. Them Catholic motherfuckers, they be talking that shit. And I ain't going to no Muslim church. The Quran ain't, nuh-uh. I'm like, have y'all ever thought about having a discussion about the Bible itself? And maybe why their interpretation of that same quote, or that same verse, or that same law, why do you have this perception of that? Well, I gave you a perception of how I felt about why women can't raise men, especially a single woman. I'm not saying that they can't put productive, respectable people out here. I'm saying that they may have an issue. These men may have an issue with being married. And then when you ask the question like, why are black women the least to be married on this planet? You come up with excuses. Some say the excuses are legitimate. Miss Delita said it. Y'all seen me frown. Well, some of our men locked up. Well, there's white men locked up. There's Asian men, and there's all kind of men locked up. Let's stop using they locked up, because here's the thing. Everybody in jail, well, I don't know if I should say this shit because it's going to really ruffle some feathers. But most of the motherfuckers in jail are guilty. So stop it. Stop acting like everybody sitting in jail ain't supposed to be there. So if you're making a decision that can send you to the penitentiary, you're not thinking about family. You're not thinking about being somebody's husband. You're not thinking about what you can do, walk into the park with your baby stroller and your wife. You're not thinking like that because you're out here doing criminal act of shit. That's not on your mind. That's not on your mind. Not the majority. Not the majority of dudes. Take it from me. I'm the same dude that talk to dudes who's sitting in the penitentiary, and they got 2 or 3 girls they talking to, and they just trying to figure out which one of them they gonna go home and live with when they get out. And then when they get out, they go live with her. That shit don't work out, and 2 weeks later, he go live with the other one. So don't tell me. Don't tell me it's because people putting us in jail that's making black men not get married. Because to be honest with you, and I'm not speaking for all. I'm not sitting here saying for every 100 black men that's locked up, if they wasn't locked up, 89 of them would be married, because you know that's a lie. There's a reason why marriage is not on black men's mind. Was mama married? Oh, I'm about to get it for that. I'm about to get it. But hey, you do your own research. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Just don't be mad at me, because I might have looked at something that gave me my perception of why it's happening. I may have I may have gone and collected some different information that gave me my facts to what I'm presenting to the table, to the court here. When I asked Miss Delita, why don't most black men want to be married? What answer did she give? That's y'all girl. She went 9 rounds with the champ. She almost made it to 10 rounds. Y'all know by the 6th round, she was out of gas. Y'all know she ain't had nothing else coming. Y'all start saying, this is good, this is funny, till I had her ass on the ropes. Then I asked her the question. You know, I was setting her up with that jab and shit, setting her up with them slick ass shots. And all of a sudden, here come the overhand right. And I asked her a question and she was like, huh? Why you hit me with that shot? You know I can't ask you that. I can't tell you why black men don't marry or why they don't want to get married. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. Then he cheated out of blue because he cheated. Wait a minute, hold on, Mr. Lee, I didn't ask you that shit. I asked you, why don't most black men want to get married? We know, brothers know. Why do I get married if I don't have to? Why would I get married if I don't have to? Hey. It's my time. I had fun. See you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock if I can make it. Peace and love to everybody. And I mean everybody. Holla!
Woo! Dance. Let's find out. I want to see everybody on the dance floor right now. I'm about to put y'all to the test. Let's go! Do you know the dances? Do you know the hip-hop dances? Let's see. This one is the raw for sure, taking no chances. Bringing back the old school dances, here's the answers. Whether you remember or you're new to this endeavor, dance is a major part of this culture forever. What are we preserving if the children ain't learning? Culture ain't about just numbering and just wording. Sometimes you gotta show the culture at the party. Let's start with the Bismarck dance. Come on, everybody. After the Bismarck, the party bout to get sparked. This is that moment you get live, get courage, get hard. I spit art, I'm one of a kind, they not me. I'm digitally underground like Shock G. Speaking of Shock G, when I jump, we jump. That's crisscross, but we talking about Humpty Hump. When you up, what? This is your chance.
Come on, everybody, do the Humpty dance. Get it! I had Miss Delita up on the ropes. Body shot.
That was the Humpty, now let's get it chunky. Like Biz used to say, yo, let's get funky. Funky, with the funk flow, we don't stop. Right about now, we gonna take it to the wop. Remember the wop? Feet slide, shoulder drop.
Peace.
Did it in the clubs, we even did it on the block. Ready, set, go. Stand on your spot. Up to the top, come on y'all, let's do the wop.
I ain't gonna do the wop like that on y'all.
Come on! Watch this! Whopping, not stopping, hip hopping, we dropping. We ain't even get yet to popping or locking. It's shocking how many dance moves we came with. Obviously, we and the ancestors got the same gift, the same lift, the same riff, and the same split. Bob Marley said when the music hits, it's painless. You can't tame this or hate this. You gotta love me. Come on, y'all. Let me see you do the doggy. Woo! This that part where we go freestyle. Some of y'all doing the cabbage patch. Some of y'all doing the running man. Let me see what you got. Come on.